I'm Rezlar.
I'm Frosty.
As nobody's really engaged quite yet.
Yep. Oh, there we have a bit of. Oh, was that a triple stun for the Mystic?
And welcome back to the Value Pack. And welcome everybody to another episode of the Value Pack. We don't have a guest today, and that's intentional. We don't have a guest because we do have a fuckload of changes that we got to go through that hit Global Labs.
Now we got to get rid of our sponsors.
Yeah, but before we get into that, I do want to thank our patrons. Calahad, Hawaiian, Auscultation, Minaria, Jeremy Johnson, My PP Itches, Lord Carrot, Mayo Knight, Talos Acceptum, Infrax, Sinvala, Icarian, Justicar, and I Has Issues. Thank you guys so much, and everybody else that supports us on Patreon and keeps this show running. We appreciate your support. Thank you very much. Now, Global Lab Changes.
Dude,
there
wait,
was a
real
lot
quick,
of shit.
that list is crazy.
It is.
Dude, thank you guys so
Yeah.
much. That's actually super
thank you a lot.
nice, kind of you guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Giving-
that shit blew my mind. You were like, that list got a lot
showing your
longer
support
than I
for-
remember.
Showing the support
Fuck,
for us degenerates, you know?
Degenerates, yeah.
And someone's pee-pee still itches. They have to go to the doctor.
So, several changes hit Global Labs. But the biggest changes I think that everybody's been talking about, I'm sure you know if you PvP, class changes. There were several changes to basically every class, I think. Was there any classes that didn't get any change whatsoever?
Well, Mooses like to pretend they didn't get any changes.
Did Shy get a change? I'm curious, because that would be
They
the...
got a lot. They actually got quite a few changes, yeah.
Well, then definitely every class got a change then. So literally every class got changed in some way or another. So yeah, we got to go over that shit, and we gotta talk about it. So Frosty, why don't you kick us off with whatever you want to kick us off with?
I figure we'll just go down the list, and then when we get to the classes that we main or that we've spent time on, we can go more in detail.
Okay.
So let's start with Warrior. So main weapon changes, Piercing Spear and the Absolute Piercing Spear have been changed, so now it's available for use during cooldown. Instant Grapple has been changed to passive activation so that it always triggers when using Takedown while having learned Instant Grapple. And the speed of Seismic Strike has increased. For their Awakening, their Solar Flare, Black Spirit damage has increased. And they changed it so that Head Chase can now be activated in the main weapon state, which I actually think is kind of nutty. And Succession improved to activate Prime Enhanced Spirit when using Shifty keys after using a specific skill. I think it's like a bug fix. Oh, and they also fixed a bug that was affecting grave digging where it wasn't actually applying the slow debuffs until like late in the skill. And now I think it's supposed to instant apply right when you cast grave digging.
Well, yeah, I don't think that was a bug. I think that was just, it was always the last hit, I thought.
They fixed
The
a bug.
bug is low.
Rez, it says right here, fixed a bug. Okay. It's
Okay.
it's intended until people don't like it, and then it becomes a bug. You idiot! Do you not know the rules?
Yeah, see, in software design, you can claim it's a bug or wasn't intended if there was enough uproar. I don't think people were really complaining about that.
I mean, it's possible, just no one ever noticed, because back in the day, like...
Oh, people notice because the pain gets applied on the first hit, but the last hit is where the debuffs actually get applied.
No, I mean, people notice now, but I mean, before the Q block cancel change, like a year ago, where you could cancel out of grave digging, you always let the whole skill go through, you know? So people probably noticed it way less, but now they notice it. So now they fixed that bug, in quotes.
Yeah, but they can cancel Gravedigger, right?
Yeah, but they didn't used to be able to, is what I'm saying.
So honestly, it should not allow the debuffs to be applied on the very start of the skill if they can just cancel it. You should be forced to do the entirety of the skill.
All right, so now
literally no other skill is like that. Any other skill where you have to do the entire skill to get a slow off?
Well, when it's a fucking 50% slow like that, or
Alright,
30%.
Yeah.
Like Devastation, you can let the first hit of Devastation and then cancel out of it, and it still slows. Why should Gravedigger be treated differently?
Because fuck Warrior, dude.
All right, so Nayashe has stated a little bit beforehand that he wasn't super happy with the Warrior changes. So let's start with Nayashe. Overall, why do you not like these Warrior changes / buffs?
Well, the grapple one, I need to actually understand a little bit more, but
Rose, you want to explain that real quick? The way the new grapple works. So basically, they're instant grapple.
I mean,
passive.
there's not much to explain. It's always instant grapple now.
Yeah,
yeah, but that means it's super armor, right?
No.
No,
So
it's not. It's still not protected. It's just so fucking fast. It may as well be. That's how to look at it.
Yeah,
right.
That why? Well, like why? Like why does it always have to be like that now? Like
I think that they were thinking Succession is protected and Awakening isn't, and we want to make these two on the same level. So instead of just copying Succession and making it protected, we'll allow Awakening to have like its own like gimmick, you know?
Well,
so instead of making it protected, it's going to be fast or whatever.
But
That's my thought process.
They're not on the same level.
This
Awakening is far superior in a lot of aspects.
Well, he means the grapple
talking about specifically. Yeah, I mean specifically with the grapple though. That's what I mean.
But I don't.
Yeah, but I would view that as a trade-off. You get a lot more flexibility and movement, and cancels.
Listen, man, I didn't make the change. I'm just trying to rationalize it somehow.
Hold
okay?
on. I also don't know if that's true because does this not also benefit Succession?
No, they don't have quick grapple. I don't think. Do they?
Well, it's a pre-awaken.
Yeah, it's a pre-awaken passive, so I don't know why.
Yeah, it would actually benefit Succession.
So they now have super armor. I mean, their trade-off is that their cooldown is longer on their grab. That's the only difference, I believe. They have what is it? Is it 13 seconds on suck or something?
Longer, or 5 seconds or something. Yeah, it's a little bit longer.
Yeah, and it's super armor throughout the entire thing, even if they miss, versus Warriors, which isn't.
So
that
what
one
is
aside,
Warrior? Is Warrior in a state where you feel like it shouldn't be buffed, Nayashe, or is that where this rage is coming from?
I think a lot of people probably feel very similarly to that. It's not even just my own bias. I mean, look at slashing the dead. Like the joke going around right now is you're just literally slashing the dead because by the time you're through the full animation, you're hitting their corpse. So, like Zethian even mentioned on his stream when I was asking him about it the other day that they buffed slashing damage, and they also buffed the BSR version as well, and didn't consider the damage increase that would be. So it was like double dipping into the BSR essentially,
right?
And so it's insane damage output right now.
I have noticed since those PvP ratio changes where I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna get out of this Warrior combo, and then I see the BSR solar flip or the BSR slashing. I'm like, never mind, I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, and not even just that. Like, it's also the amount of mobility that Warrior has in Awakening. It's just insane. Like, and then on top of that, they're going to make it so much easier for them to like quickly engage and basically like go from being in sword shield stance, doing charging thrusts, and then shield chase not shield chase, but shield chase, shield chase into head chase into solar flare grab, which instant grab. Like that's going to be an incredible amount of distance closing really quickly, and you know how glitchy Warriors can be if they max out their FPS right now. So it's just like almost teleporting, basically. So it's just going to be insane to deal with. I don't see where the need was for those kinds of abilities to be put in there with the damage output.
I have a question for you, Rezar, but do you want to rebut anything he just said before we get to that?
Not particularly, no.
Right.
Although I do find it interesting. You know what's one thing that we've like never really touched on before? the whole idea of by bumping up your FPS, you can like really increase your skill speed, but it's
Yeah.
really only effective on certain classes.
Remember when they tried to change that and lock it at 60 FPS and we couldn't mount our horses?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So here's my question for Spear. Oh, well. By the way, just to your point, actually, I think Musa Mewa struggle with Warrior. There's like a few. It's so weird. Warrior's so polarizing because it's like half the classes really, really struggle against it, and then the other half are just fine against it. So it's kind of weird. I don't know. That class is very like hit and miss as far as matchups. It's kind of strange. Like Musas and Mewas are like extra frustrated against Warrior, for sure, and understandably because in all of their downtime they have super armor, so makes sense. Piercing Spear, absolute Piercing Spear. You can now use it on cooldown. I remember when that got removed, Warriors were pretty upset. So I'm asking you, Reslar, since you played the class, what is it about this change that is meaningful when the skill doesn't CC and does reduce damage when it's on cooldown? Why do people want to spam this?
Well, I think why people wanted to spam it before was because it was actually insane damage, like even off cooldown. Like, so there were actually warriors in castles, like defending, that were just like chunking spears and like actually getting kills with it.
Kill stealing bastards.
I don't know if it still does the same amount of damage as it did. I don't know. I'm really not sure because I didn't play a warrior like post like the whole spam thing. I didn't play during that warrior during that time, so I can't say for sure. I just know that a lot of warriors said that the damage was really insane, and that when you were like defending a castle, or even like not even in a castle, like in a node war, like if you're at that weird point where the witches and wizards are just like casting shit at each other from like 5 miles away, instead of just hiding behind a rock with your guard up waiting for something to happen, like you can actually do something now.
Right.
So I don't know.
And then head chase from pre-awakening, which I assume is going to pull you into awakening.
Yeah, that's kind of insane.
That's kind of cool. That's a interesting.
That's gonna add, dude. Every single like high level PvPer, like especially the montagers, like the Spheros and the Hands and like all those guys, they're looking at that change and going like, "Oh, dude, I got some shit that I'm gonna do with that."
Yeah.
Let me read back what Hans said to me after I showed him the changes. Lol, what the fuck? That's it. He's even baffled by these changes, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like indifferent on it. I mean, they're cool. I'm always for like I'd rather classes be buffed than nerfed. So, Warrior's not quite like Wizard level of busted. So, let's make it that way.
They're
you know
not.
what I mean?
No, they're not. But I don't know. It's just I thought Warrior was actually in a pretty good state, minus the slashing damage being a little overtuned. So I'm not particularly excited about these extra, more mobility options. Like, because I mean, head chase out of pre-weekend is by basically definition increasing their mobility options. So
with this solar flare change to their BSR, is it just one additional hit? Is that what I'm seeing? It used to be 9 hits and now it's 10, kind of, or is the damage distributed differently? I don't know.
Let me see. Well, it's gonna affect their 100%, right?
Yeah. Well, that's the only thing it's affecting. I think that's the only thing that's changed. The Black Sphere version. So I don't know. Looking at this little chart, it looks like it's just getting one extra hit. So someone said you can use the spears. Noisy Mix said you can use the spears to check if people have PA. True.
Wait, what?
Well, because you could just hit people with the spear and see their buff bar. I guess. It's kind of funny. All right, Sorceress. Sorceress max shards is now up to 4, aka 40. They have Shards of Darkness 4 has been added, so now they can keep a grand total of 40 shards. Crow Food 2 has been added. Learning Crow Food 2 allows you to use Storming Crow by consuming shards when you have no stamina. Cooldown of Imminent Doom, which is the instant cast of Dream of Doom, has changed from 30 seconds to 24. The cooldown of Bloody Calamity changed from 40 to 30 seconds. It's the blood on the ground that gives them a little bit of HP back, does some damage. Added a float upon successful hits to Absolute Crow Flare. Mind you, that does not have a cooldown, that float, although it is like really melee float. But yeah. And then Absolute Darkness has been improved so that you can use it by registering it from skill slot. And it can be used in the skill slot even with the Scythe. So Absolute Darkness is the little underhand like ball that they throw to get their crit buff. They can now use that from their Scythe for combos. And then Awakening changed a shitload. They get more fragments back for using Soul Harvest. When using Shadow Leap, they now, every time they use Shadow Leap, they get their AP buff that they usually get from Q. So it consumes 10 shards and just keeps refreshing the buff, basically. Nightmare, the skill where they go invisible, now has super armor while going into it, but is not protected when coming out. They added an all evasion debuff to the last hit of Turnback Slash and Black Spirit Turnback Slash. And then the PvE and PvP damage of Blades of Darkness summoning hit has been increased by 30%. And the flow for Cry of Darkness, the explosion hit, has one additional hit. And then on top of that, like the pet damage of every class has been changed. So the flow Cry of Darkness used to be a 15 base AP, is now 100. So the blades like legit do damage now. And then Succession, they reverted the Crow Flare change, so it now does recover stamina when they use it, but it no longer generates shards when you cast a skill. And it looks like it no longer generates shards even if you hit somebody with the skill. So overall thoughts on this?
Mouthful.
I know you're not super thrilled about this one either, Nayashe. Care to explain why?
I mean, it's not as big a deal as Warrior in my opinion, but yeah, there's some significant changes in here. I can't make heads or tails of some of them, to be perfectly honest. Like I know the shards are going to be pretty impactful for them to, stay alive and do a number of different things, but it's hard to say until I actually fight someone that actually knows what they're doing with it. So I mean, I honestly can't really give too much of an opinion on it until I actually fight it.
After the PvP changes recently, Sork's biggest complaint was their damage. So I like the evasion debuff added to Turnback, and I like the additional damage on their pet damage and the changes to Blades of Darkness. I don't fully understand the rest of... Oh, I do like the quality of life change too, where they now can keep their buff up when Shadow Leaping, and I like the being able to use their Absolute Darkness from Scythe. Like, those all make sense. But some of the other stuff, I don't fully understand the super armor added to Nightmare, because even though in the middle of a fight it was still hard to use, it's not like Sorks were having trouble staying elusive. So I don't understand that change. I don't fully understand why you'd add floating to Crow Flare instead of like damage to Crow Flare. Like, that skill just kind of needed damage in Pre-Awakening. Didn't really need a float. And the cooldown reductions are kind of interesting. So for me, I guess it's just like the survivability changes are weird to me for Awakening specifically. But the damage changes make sense and the cooldown reductions make sense. And then for Succession, I think the Crow Flare change is good. I don't know how bad it's going to be that it doesn't generate shards anymore, but that stamina recovery when they use the frontal guard will be nice, so they don't feel like they have to walk around all the time. So I'm kind of like indifferent on this, because like most Sorks were literally just complaining about their damage. Most Awakening sources, Awake Sorks were complaining about their damage. Suck Sorks were complaining that they run out of stamina too quickly and can't recover it. And they fixed the Succession part potentially, but the Awakening one just seems like I don't know, kind of odd. But
was Awakening Sork really lacking in damage though?
After the PvP changes, yes. I mean, there are some matchups where it wasn't like that bad, but like compared to other classes, it wasn't great because there were BAMs. Again, in most matchups, their BAMs got nerfed in the PvP changes, so Shadow Ignition, Engulfing Shadow do less damage overall. And then they buffed like Dead Hunt, but Dead Hunt's like a really slow. I don't know. Like it was kind of weird. There's some matchups where it's okay and some where it wasn't. So they kind of buffed damage with these and gave them the evasion debuff, and maybe it'll be enough and it'll be fine. But I just don't understand like Super Armor and Nightmare. It's really cool. Like if you main Sork, that's an awesome change. Because you get caught out. Every Sork knows, like, you get caught out of using that. But it's just like... it's just not necessary.
Caught, dude.
It's just not super necessary. At least not to me. I think every Sork is happy they got it, but I'm pretty sure if you asked every Sork and they had to be honest, they'd say that they don't really need it. It's not something that they were like, man, if Nightmare just had Super Armor, that's why we don't do well in 1v1 and 1v2 and 1v3, you know? I don't know.
Yeah.
The Imminent Doom change is cool. Bloody Calamity never made any sense to me that it had a 40-second cooldown. Even 30 seconds still feels kind of long, but whatever. And then the shard stuff is all like, I don't know, just kind of quality of life. The max 40 shards is interesting. I was asked, like, so Dark Trade only recovers 30, which I think probably will just stay that way. Instead of refilling the whole bar, it just recovers some. And then will Shard Explosion have a 4th hit? Because right now it's like it does whatever percent times 1 per shard, so technically 3 shards before, and now you can have up to 4 shards, but it still only does damage up to 3, so I wonder if they'll change that and make their Shard Explosion do more damage in the future. Anyway, moving on. Sork changes the changes are good. If you're a Sork, you're super hype about those changes. I saw a clip. I don't know how realistic it is because Global Labs, but I watched a clip. Let me see if I can.
She linked it in chat.
Oh, the Messilas one?
Yeah.
With the
Oh,
discs?
the blade
Yeah.
damage.
So this Messilas testing out the blade damage changes.
3.
I don't know either of the players' gear in this, but
I was just saying,
looked
with
like
all
he did
3.
It looked like he finished him off with just his little.
yeah, he just stinger, and that was
forward.
it. I don't know how realistic that is on live. I have no idea what his gear or the other person's gear is, but also it's super common to just have 3 discs out in a fight, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. Kind of weird. All right, moving on. Ranger. Call of the Earth's all accuracy rate duration has increased to 20 seconds. I believe before it was 10. That's where they plant the little tree in the ground on a Ranger. That's actually a really cool change. The 10-second thing was... It was funny because, like, you see a Ranger cast at the beginning of the fight, but because it's not really safe and it doesn't last that long, like, they almost never really cast it again in, like, 1v1s. But now I feel like it's actually worth casting since it lasts for so long. So if you can, like, gap close and get it back down again and keep that buff up, because it's just such a huge quality of life change. It's so good. ES has changed the evasive explosive shot, which is their iframe. So the initial iframe that they get, not the second one that doesn't have a cooldown, but the initial one changed from 12 seconds to 9 seconds. Let's see. I don't know. This is like a key change. I don't know. Forward guard has been added to the starting motion of Razor Wind and Absolute Razor Wind and Prime Razor Wind. When using Blasting Gust 1 through 3 or Prime Blasting Gust, there's Super Armor added in the rotation motion. So where you do the little like kind of circle before the shot. Has Super Armor, but not on the actual shot. Descending...
I think that's fine.
Yeah, that's cool. Riding of the Wind, which is it's spacebar and a directional key. Now has a 4-second cooldown and Super Armor has been added to it. So it's almost like Call It From Sky. It's just like a little cartwheel thing. Kind of a little bit smoother in motion and faster. So that's nice. Protected movement. I believe they'll be able to use that in both Awakening and Succession. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. There's no like Prime version of it or reason why it shouldn't work. And then Awakening, Wailing Wind. This change to me is like the most hype because way back in the day, before the CC changes, Wailing Wind, which is their Q skill in Awakening that shoots out blades directly in front of them, used to have Frontal Guard, and that was like you would use that constantly to block like range shots or to buy time or whatever. And it has a knockback, which is like kind of a shit CC to begin with, but they removed the knockback and gave it forward guard again, which I think is actually a really, really good change.
Honestly, I hate knockbacks in general. Like, I don't think it's a very good CC. I mean, you can make it work, but
yeah,
it's just awful when it happens.
All knockbacks should be transformed into vacuums.
Uh-huh.
God.
The sprint buff of Guardian has been changed to apply even in longbow and non-combat situations. And in succession, improved to not consume stamina when sprinting in non-combat stance while using prime feathers of the spirits. The speed of prime regeneration has been increased. I asked a ranger about that. Apparently, regeneration in succession was slower than the normal awakening one. And now they're supposed to be the same speed.
Really?
So that's kind of nice. And then after using prime regeneration, Nature's Tremble and the linkage of Extreme Ultimate Charging Wind has been increased. Overall, the ranger changes I think are fucking hype. Like, actually really, really good changes.
Yeah,
So,
that sounds pretty good.
I just asked Mina. I said, Mina, what do you think of the ranger changes on Global Lab? And he said he hasn't tried them, but that they look really good. And I said, is it enough for you to roll ranger when it hit live? And he said, with the witch changes? Hell no.
Yeah.
Multimeter's asking in chat, why would you use the Q block instead of just pressing S? I mean, anyone who has both an S or a Q block knows, like, when you press S, you're like giving up ground, right? Like you can move forward and hold your position with Q, a lot of the time. I mean, there's just like anytime you have to S block, you're like giving up distance. So any skills or stamina that you've used to like gap close or like close the distance between you and someone else, if you have to now undo that by S blocking, kind of feels shitty.
Yes. And also some of your skills, you're trying to gauge the distance and in between cooldowns.
You can also, after you use Q, you can C-swap into Call the Wind like instantly. And so it goes from frontal guard to super armor, which is really nice. Well, I never Q block on Kuno, because it drains your stamina for some reason. Yeah, so I think the ranger things are cool, and that's true. If you're a witch, dude, the suck witch and awaken witch changes are kind of nutty. Moving on to berserker. Also, side note, I'm getting skill points on my ranger. I'm gonna try it out with Tet weapons. I know my AP would be low with Tet weapons. Only like 293 or something, but I think it'll be really cool. All right, Berserker.
I like Minaria's explanation better. When a ranger is standing on a ledge shooting arrows, you can't S block.
True. Although I don't know if you can C-swap safely either, because C-swap kind of moves you a little bit.
I think that's fair though. If you're on a ledge, you shouldn't be able to block. We already can't reach your dumbass.
Yeah.
Unless we have our spear spamming warriors.
That's the other thing they changed on Wailing Wind. I completely forgot. And they did this with like 3 or 4 classes in this patch. You can now hotbar Wailing Wind and use it from quick slot from pre-awakening, and it'll auto swap you to awakening and use the skill, which is really fucking cool. Like similar to Head Chase. Ninja got one like that as well that we'll talk about later, but that's also a good change. So the quick swap stuff, I feel like the newer classes have a lot smoother transitions from awakening to pre-awakening. So I mean, maybe I'm crazy, Rez, but is there, prior to this patch, is there a way to go to awakening on warrior with a skill, or do you have to C-swap?
That's a good
I'm
question.
pretty sure you have to C-swap. Maybe I'm wrong, but
No, what? I feel like there was a way, but I just can't remember off the top of my head. I feel like there was one though.
Can't remember.
If there's any warriors in chat,
probably not.
Yeah, I don't think there is. And Ninja was the same way. I actually had no way to go to awakening from pre-awakening, and now both those classes do. Like with the Head Chase from Hotbar, it's kind of nice. You don't have to use forward guard if you don't want, because there are times where, I mean, forward guard is nice, but there are times where forward guard puts you in a sticky
Ground Smash?
situation. Ground
No,
smash is a
ground
pre-awakened
smash takes
skill.
you from awakening to pre-awakening.
Yeah.
We're
Oh,
talking
you
about
mean-
from
oh, you're talking
pre-awakening to awakening.
hmm
Yeah, but there used
Yeah.
to be a design about that. Like some classes had skills that would take them from awakening to pre-awakening, and some had that did the reverse.
Right.
Examples of that was like Mewa could do some skills like Raban skills, or even like just Red Moon while in awakening would transition them over to pre-awakening. But then they later added that Sleet Step could be used from pre-awakening to get them
Right.
into awakening. So
I feel like it's
some
just like
classes
a
get that.
it's just like a inconvenience for no reason. But most new classes have ways to go back and forth. So it's like if you play, like, let's say, I don't know, if you started the game later on and the classes you're like familiar with are like Dark Knight or Mystic or Striker or Lawn, like it's kind of jarring to go try Ninja and Warrior out and you can't go to Awakening unless you see swap. Is actually kind of a weird thing. Anyway, moving on. Reslar, your Zerker got some changes. I'm going to read through them real quick, and then you tell us what you like, don't like, what's good, what's bad, and what's missing. Main weapon, the cooldown of Fearsome Tyrant, all the way up to Absolute Fearsome Tyrant, has changed as follows. So basically the 1 minute 45-second cooldown has been reduced to a 45-second cooldown. When acquiring Shake Off 3 and 4 has been improved so that you can connect Shake Off while using Fearsome Tyrant. The key to activate Fearsome Tyrant on horseback has changed. Knockback of Raging Thunder 1, 2, and 3 and Absolute has been changed to apply only to monsters. Super Armor has been applied to Raging Thunder and Absolute and all that. And then the PvP damage was reduced by 11%. Super Armor has been applied to Feral Rage. Improve the phenomenon of not landing when hit in the air while using Predatory Hunt, Giant Leap, and Black Spirit Giant Leap. Super Armor of Shakeoff has been changed to Invincibility. Frenzy Destroyer, when in use, you can use S plus LMB RMB has been improved so that additional damage of Frenzy Destroyer is activated continuously. While using Eye of the Beast, the skill has been improved so that it rotates in the direction of the camera. So you can don't have to mouse through that. Improve the phenomenon that the character's movement was slow when hit while using Lava Piercer. And fix the bug that Shape of the Beast was cancelled when using Wrath of the Beast. And then in Awakening, you can now use Flow Earth Dividing from the hotbar. And Flow Ancient Waves cooldown has been changed from 30 seconds to 20 seconds. And then for Succession, they also changed the Fearsome Tyrant cooldown to 45 seconds. Ancient Waves cooldown to 20 seconds. And then they did the same thing with the activating Fearsome Tyrant and Horseback, Shake Off, basically all the same shit. Yeah, all of the same stuff. And BC Windslash now you can move with your camera. So, Reslar, these changes, what do you like, what do you not like, what's missing?
It's all good, honestly. These are really good changes. This is why before the podcast I was talking about that I'm almost certain there's a fucking intern at Pearl Abyss that watches the podcast, and then they like take the shit that we say and they take it to the dev team, because like those are like the only change that I've been complaining about on this show since its inception that isn't on there is made the iframe of Giant Leap cover the entire animation. That's literally the only change that isn't on there that I've been fucking complaining about. Everything else is there. The fucking hit stutter on Lava Piercer, the hit stutter on Predatory Hunt, Ancient Wave cooldown got reduced because for some reason they think it's a 30-second. So finally it's getting a fucking cooldown reduction. The Earth Dividing change is nice. I don't know if anybody asked for that, but it's nice at least. It'll be interesting to see like how people use it, I suppose. The Fearsome Tyrant cooldown reduction is nice. That's the ulti. That's the unprotected heal, and then the 100% pre-awaken ulti. So that's a nice cooldown change. Overall, just really, really nice changes, in all honesty. So, really happy about it. If they actually manage to fix the hit stutter, because somebody told me in my stream the other day that apparently Lava Piercer is still being hit stuttered, that it's not actually fixed on global labs. I don't know if that's true or not. That's just what I've been told. So now it has me worried that they're going to not be able to fucking fix it. But if they do manage to fix the hit center on Lava Piercer and Predatory Hunt, I'm actually very likely going to be going back to Zerker. Because that'll be some really nice changes that help it not just be a 3-minute class. Not to mention the cooldown reduction on Ancient Wave as well will help it be not a 3-minute class.
Yeah. What about this Raging Thunder change? It getting super armor, losing the knockback. Good change overall?
Yeah, I feel people may disagree with this, especially if you're an uber geared person, but I feel like it's more of a PvE change than a P change. Because like you would spin all the times on mob, but there was always this thing where like you're like, please don't knock me down, please don't knock me down, please don't knock me down, please don't knock me down. Because like if it knocked you down as soon as you started spinning, it's like, God damn it, motherfucker! Now my clear time is like fucked. So like I don't know. It's really nice for the lazy grinders who really like to just spin and don't want to like put like effort into like using other abilities and stuff in PvE. If you're an uber geared person and you're fighting a non-grab class, then that's a pretty insane PvP buff. Like Nyashi's really going to be annoyed fighting Choice now because Choice is just going to keep spinning. So anytime Nyashi walks up to him, he's just going to start taking like massive amounts of damage.
Mm-hmm. So you think it needed the damage reduction that it got in PvP?
Yeah. 100% needed the PvP damage reduction.
Right.
I mean, I have a feeling if you're at like Choice's AP, right, the damage reduction, you're probably still going to be shredding people. In all honesty,
Yeah, more than likely.
So, but I mean, Choice is, he's like what 5 in a fucking million or some shit. So whatever.
He has as much AP as I have DP, so no big deal.
Feral Rage. I'm forgetting off the top of my head what Feral Rage does and how's the super armor help that?
Feral Rage is the Rabomb spin. It's just the other spin.
Got it.
So they gave the base spin super armor and they gave the Rabomb spin super armor.
Okay.
Yeah. That's all that is.
And then
also
yeah.
The fucking Frenzy Destroyer change. I had been complaining. This is what I mean by like there has to be someone like listening because I had just started complaining like a couple months back. Like why the fuck does Succession get to be so goddamn lazy with their Frenzy Destroyer? They get to just hold down the fucking keys and it does it automatically for them at maximum efficiency. Whereas when you're an Awakened Zerker, you have to cast it every single time, which it's not like it's that big of a deal, but if you're aiming for maximum efficiency, you're not going to get it like you can on Succession when the game just fucking does it for you. So it's like that, oh, dude, such a nice change. It's like, thank you, fuck. Like, it made no sense to have that be different.
Right. And how are you feeling about Ancient Wave's cooldown reduction?
I mean, like I said, it'll help it be not a 3-minute class, right? I mean, that's really all it comes down to. They can do more, in between those Q buffs or those ultis now. So I'm really liking the changes, honestly. Also, the turning the camera on Wrath of the Beast. I don't know if it's going to be like better or worse than just mouse moving it, but I don't know. We'll find out, I guess.
Yeah.
Because for gore roll, for instance, like I know gore roll turns with your camera as well, but it's kind of like turns at like certain points or something. I think, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of slow.
Yeah, it doesn't like turn on a dime.
There are some skills that move quickly. Like when you're charging up Wave Orb on Mystic in Awakening, it moves you like instantly. But some skills are like slow. Yeah. It's weird. Like skills with projectiles, I feel like always, or something that goes outward seems to be slower. I don't know.
Yeah, like all of Archer's skills where he like turns or whatever as well. It's like you can literally just like spin in circles by just like spinning your camera around. So, I don't know. We'll see. I'm really excited though. Hopefully these changes actually happen and they make it to live or whatever. Yeah. I bought an outfit on my Zerker, so I'm ready to reroll back.
He's committed.
Dude, I needed that bear chest for my Zerker, dude. The new Termian outfit. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh shit, dude, that would look so good on my Zerker. And guess what? It does. I look amazing.
I look amazing.
The one where you're just wearing a skirt?
Yes, sir.
Oh my god. Yeah, Raging Angel got that outfit and is like in love with it. I'm like, dude, you look like such a fool. It's so dumb looking.
It is the best outfit, and you can shut your mouth.
Someone clipped Reslar being positive. All right, so I'm gonna get to the tamer. Res, your mic's doing that popping thing. Probably got to check the cable or whatever. I'm gonna start reading the tamer changes. I presume you don't know anything about tamer, so you have a second.
No. So go ahead.
Okay. Tamer, hailing is jointly added to explain the effects on hailing command attack. I don't know, whatever. So one thing with the tamer, it also got its pet damage increased. So in succession, its pet AP is 100 in pre-awakening. The last level 11 of hailing is 95 base AP. So any of the abilities where the hailing does an attack afterwards, for example, all around spinner, will now do a little bit more damage. I don't know how much in the grand scheme, but it's something. Added a little bit of damage. I know tamers have been hurting for damage after the PvP changes. A lot of tamers damage matchups. Their damage is kind of shit, so our hearts go out to them.
Our hearts go out to them.
Main weapon, Jolt Stab, has accelerated. I have not seen that change, but Jolt is the second hit of Bolt Jolt. It's the second ability they do. I guess it's a little bit faster now. They fixed some cooldown thing. Hailing, when you have level 11 hailing and you use command attack, it now stiffens upon successful hit, which is kind of cool. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the command attack does the pet like runs at you and does that slide. So that slide now is a stiffen. Oh, Jolt Stab is the Rabam. Got it. Oh, you're right. Jolt Stab's the Rabam. Oh, that's fucking awesome, because that skill is so goddamn slow. That's actually going to be nice. Holy shit. I wonder how fast that actually is. Yeah, you're right. Jolt Stab is that'll be good, dude. That skill is like ridiculously slow, but it's really powerful for combos, but it's like so slow. Anyway, so they can now stiffen when using the range thing. Improves attack capability when rotating the camera with upward claw. I don't know what that affects. Flow Intimidation has been changed to be available by registering it in the cooldown slot, and a down smash has been added. You can now also use Flow Intimidation from the cooldown slot in the short sword state, which I think is really fucking cool, and will be a nice way. I think like the standard way of switching to Awakening is either with Moonlight or Echo Pierce in combos, so it'll be really, really nice to be able to use Flow Intimidation, because it's a really, really fast skill. And the down smash is kind of nice. Probably will never proc unless it hits 1,000,000 times. So, PvP damage of Beast Rampage. Hit damage has been increased by 15%.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, can hear you.
Yep.
Okay, let me know if it keeps happening or whatever.
Okay, so far so good. PvP, yeah. So the PvP damage on Beast Rampage, kind of nice. Again, their damage has been lacking since the changes, so that will help a little bit. Using the different commands to control the pet now has faster link between other skills. Attack speed of Black Turtle in Legendary Beast Dance has been increased. And then in succession, fixed a bug where down attack wasn't affecting Whiplash, the extra hit of Whiplash, which is like, that's shitty. And then they also have the stiffness on attack and improved the upward claw. So the tamer changes are all really good. I don't know if they're going to be happy enough with them because they're damage overall, but it's a start. It's something.
I missed the tamer changes. Feels bad.
Well, I'm actually curious how in a legit Awaken combo, how different it is just because the AP change on hailing. Because all of that damage, maybe on one skill, it's not super noticeable, but over the course of an entire combo, it might be. At least that's how I feel about it. I mean, I don't know. It looks to have made a significant difference, because 75 AP base increase is pretty high. So we'll see. Valkyrie, Valkyrie's fucking crazy. All right, so Valkyrie's main weapon cooldown of Divine Power has been reduced from 40 to 25 seconds. Sword of Judgment has been changed to activate Ultimate Sword of Judgment at the same time as the third hit. Awakening, when using Deathline Chase during cooldown, linking with Promptness, the damage and crowd control have been corrected to be applied normally. I don't know exactly what that means. Maybe a Valkyrie can explain that. Among the descriptions, blah blah blah. This also I don't know what it means. Black Spirit Sanctitus, the Anslar's pre-attack speed has been increased, so their ult now is way faster. Like legit, might be cut completely in half. I was watching a clip, and this is how I had to time it, Reslar, for reference, just from like back in the old Hex day. I mean, you don't see Valk ults that much these days, but back in the days, like we'd see it and we'd be like, Valk's ulting, somebody grab that Valk. Like you could actually make that shot call, and if people reacted in time, they could dash over and grab the Valk. Now, by the time you finish the end of the sentence, they're in the air on the teleport. So that's a thing. Their ult is way faster now. Terra Sanctus Bound has been changed to apply to monsters only, and a super armor is now added to the ability. So Terra Sancta, the skill that they've been asking to have super armor since the day the CC changes happened, now has super armor. Congratulations, Valkyries. You have some protected damage. Look at that. The pushes targets on good hits PvE only effect of Sanctus, Anslar Promptness, and Terra Sancta has been removed. Can this please happen to Kuno so I can grind at Bloody Monastery? God damn it, dude. Succession. After using Succession Shield Chase 1 through 3 to the left, right, or rear, Righteous Charge has been changed to enable smooth linkage. That's kind of cool. If it's like an instant cast, it's kind of cool. And Prime Divine Power 1 through 4 critical hit rate has been changed to apply only to monsters. Yeah. So overall, Valk Awakening changes I think are pretty good. Coupled with the changes they got last time, I actually think that they're like kind of in a decent state with the protected shield chase and all that. So we'll see. Their damage is really high, so they didn't really get damage changes. They just got a little bit more protection and smoother linkage between shit, and their ult is faster. So they're gonna be scary. Are you afraid of the faster ult, Reslar? Or you think we good?
I don't think there's any Valks left to take advantage of that.
Yeah. No, there are. You're crazy. Dude, have you not seen the Guild Guillotine run by Kyrie Arts? It's literally all Valks.
Is it really?
Dude, they legit... I have GVG'd with them at I've GVG'd with them at... Oh, hold on one sec. Let me copy paste this for them. I've GVG'd with them at Star's End on Arsha, and legit, you're fighting 9 or 10 Valks at a time, and it's awful. It's an awful... Dude, when they're throwing out shield throw from every which direction with the AoE size of that shit, and it just stuns on every single hit, it's fucking awful to fight. It's terrible. So, maybe now they'll all switch to Awakening, and I don't have to deal with that shield throw AoE size. Alright, Musa. Musa, main weapon, they added a stun 50% crit to the Black Spirit Dragon Bite. I'm going to go ahead and assume that that's useless. Awakening, projection, and flow extra credits.
You would assume right.
Yeah. Projection and flow extra credits. Summon hit damage has been increased by 30% in PvE and PvP, and the effects of crosscut while Musa's soul buff is active has been changed as follows. It now has super armor when you use it when it's off of cooldown. And then Succession has been improved to apply Serene Mind immediately upon successful hits. I think that's similar to like the grave digging thing.
Yeah, according to Kyrene, there was some fucking delays or something like that in between using back-to-back blue skills.
Right.
As they call it.
So again, the pet damage has been changed. So this might be a today I learned for some mooses or some non-mooses. Projection is a pet, similar to like Delighted Blast or the disc from Sork. So the base AP has changed on projection from, let me find it, 15 to 100, and from flow extra credit from 1 to 100. So both of those skills now have a higher base AP, and separately have a 30% damage increase in both PvE and PvP. I mean, I think it'll help a little bit. One of the main complaints is their damage and combos. I think that Musa stopped using projection. I don't know. I want to say like a year ago. Once people started actually getting pen armors, Musa stopped using projection. Maybe now they'll actually use it in their combo. If the damage is significant, so it could help with their combo damage. We'll see. Again, I don't know. It's really hard to gauge what the pet damage difference is going to be until it actually hits live. I tested it on, just for sake of example, on Kuno, on 1 AP, like on my current AP, I used Assassin's Trail, which is like the damage ratio is whatever. It's like 1500% times 4, and the AP went from 1 to 100. And Assassin's Trail damage went from doing literally like 5 to 10 hit points of damage to doing 250 to 300. And that skill's not that good. So on Musa Awakening, like projection still does do a tiny bit of damage. So I have a feeling it's going to do more. Plus it got an additional 30% buff. So it should actually hit relatively hard. It'll be noticeable. I just don't know how noticeable. And then the Serene Mind thing, yeah, quality of life thing. Flow extra credits, I'm not 100% sure what that skill does. You want to enlighten me?
That's the flow to projection.
What is it? What does it look like? Is it just the extra projection?
It's when they do the 2 slashes and it travels outward.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll see. Hopefully that actually does damage now. And Musas will continue to cry though forever. It won't matter. Meiwa weapon, main weapon, stiffness from backstep slash has been changed to apply only to mobs, and it now has forward guard. Awakening, knockdown from flow, moonlight, dash has been changed to apply only to monsters, and super armor has been added. That one's super funny to me because they just added the knockdown like 2 months ago. Fixed the bug that the attack range is applied to a small amount during the cooldown of Frost Pillars, and stun from Moonrise first hit has been changed to apply only to monsters, and super armor has been added to the first hit. And then in succession, after using Prime Stigma, linked to specific skill has been changed to trigger quickly. The required stamina of Whirl and Cut has been changed from 100 to 70 per attack, and Blind Thrust CC has been unified with Stiffness upon successful hit. So you want to go over these changes, what you like, don't like?
Can I just say, like, I don't know what this company is doing thinking that they should buff Meiwas. Like, that class is so insane as it is.
I mean, it's literally one-shotting everybody with blooming, but it's fine. They could use some buffs.
Yeah, definitely not one-shotting anybody with blooming nowadays.
So, of the obvious changes, where you got forward guard at the end of backstep slash, you got super armor and flow, moonlight, dash, and you have super armor on the first hit of Moonrise. How do you like those changes, and how do they affect the class? Just those ones specifically first.
Those ones specifically first. All right, so the backstep slash forward guard is actually a really good change. We didn't really use the stiffness for PvP very often. It's kind of like a very, 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 very situational stiff. Basically, if we had no other stiff available, but most likely people weren't really using it for that. The main thing with backstep slash is the 50% movement slow debuff it provides. And being able to apply this safely with a frontal guard, well, more safely, because obviously frontal guard is still vulnerable to some extent, will be really nice. And on top of that, this helps counter some other skills, like, say, a warrior gravedigger. We can apply our movement slow because that's super armor for them, but ours is frontal guard, so we block their debuff. So that's kind of the idea. And, like, for example, fighting a Suck Muso, because Succession Musa, their backstep slash is actually super armor. They have some extra features with it, which are really nice, like the no collision, so they can use it to kind of like pass through people and then catch them in the back. So, but with this, if we were to hypothetically do backstep slash to each other, we would apply our debuff. They wouldn't apply theirs. They would just do damage to our guard, and that would be it. So we would have the theoretical advantage in that particular situation. Now, mind you, it's all about how you land it, but It's safer, so it's good. It'll actually change some matchups. That's one change right there. Could actually change some of the matchups dramatically. Hard to say. Probably not, but it could actually help out with some matchups. Being able to do backstep slash safely against a ranger up close or an archer. The biggest problem we have, if there's a problem with those classes, which typically there isn't, but to make the fight simpler is slow them down, apply movement slow debuffs. They can't outmaneuver us, and we can just easily catch them. So that's the idea there with that. So that's a really good change for some matchups. The Moonlight Dash, taking away the knockdown for PvP and then giving it super armor instead. Honestly, this was something requested a long time ago. They did it for Petal Bloom, and then they decided to give, like you said, a couple months back, Moonlight Dash knockdown, but leave it unprotected, which was fair. It was fine. And it's a quicker animation than, say, Petal Bloom, so it was acceptable to do it that way. And a lot of more skilled players might find that more useful as a knockdown. But I think for the mass majority of the player base, having more super armors will benefit them more, not necessarily the more skilled players. It won't necessarily benefit them having this as a super armor, but
is this going to enable damage trading in any capacity?
A little bit, yeah, but not really at the same time, because Moonlight Dash doesn't really have a lot of damage attached to it. So what it does is it takes the 5 hits that it does, and it bases it on the 5 hits that Petal Bloom does. The difference is it doesn't have the 100% crit rate, so you're relying on crit buffs to keep it relatively close to the same damage as Petal Bloom. So it can do a lot of damage, but more than likely it's not going to. So it's kind of meh. I look at it as they basically looked at large scale to give us more options to do damage in large scale safely, rather than being CC'd from chaotic AoEs and large scale, like just random witch wizard CCs and shit like that. That's what I'm kind of seeing that they probably did this for. Maybe for the 1v1 matchups too, where damage trading might be more beneficial. But
yeah,
it's kind of meh. It's in the middle ground. Like, it's good, bad, depends on who you are and your playstyle preference. And then the Moonlight or the Moonrise first hit being changed to super armor and the stun being removed from PvP. That doesn't really make a difference to anything, honestly. It's kind of a dumb change. Like, the stab animation's so quick, it's not going to make or break anything. It's not going to save you from a CC, probably.
Is there a CC on the second hit, or because it says first hit on Moonrise?
So how Moonrise works is there's 3 hits to it, 3 parts of the animation. The first part is the stab. It's a quick stab, and then the second hit is where it starts flipping. You just start doing the flips, and then the third hit is actually when you float your target. So that's the ending flips. So that's how the breakdown of the skill works. You can actually do the stab only, the first hit, and then cancel the rest of Moonrise to go straight into Cloud Stab, for example, which is the flow. So if they were to add Frontal Guard to Cloud Stab, that would actually be a really good change with the super armor.
It was always asked. It's always more, dude. Always asking for more.
I'm just saying, hypothetically, if they were to do that, this would be actually a really good change. Since they didn't do that, this is kind of like a meh. Like, why bother?
Have you ever read a book called "If You Give a Mouse a Cookie"?
No, but I can assume.
If you give a Mewa a cookie, they're gonna whine and complain for milk all day long, dude. All right, so
hey, I'm not complaining. I'm saying this doesn't. This is neither here nor there.
Right.
Basically,
okay.
It doesn't really change anything.
All right, let's go to the awakening thing, because I know one of the big complaints that Mewas have in Awakening is that their skills use too much stamina, so they changed one of them, and then the other 2 changes you got to explain why they happened or what they're for.
You mean Succession?
Yeah, Succession. I meant Succession. Sorry.
So the Whirlwind Cut change from 100 stamina per attack to 70 per attack is positive, obviously, but it's honestly not going to be a huge impact. Most Succession Maewas probably aren't really incorporating Whirlwind Cut that often. It is a good skill to use, especially to bait opponents in that aren't used to seeing it, because it's a linger super armor on the first and second swing. You can continue it all the way to the third swing, but as you can imagine, that's not really cost efficient for what it does, because it obviously costs a lot of stamina. And live, it's 300 stamina to do all 3 swings, and on top of that, stamina regeneration is halted during the lingers. So you basically hurt yourself doing all 3 swings unless you're trying to do a combo. So mostly I recommend doing like the first and second swing, so you minimize the stamina impact, but you could potentially bait in an opponent to catch them off guard and catch their back, kind of thing. So I mean, they still haven't really quote unquote touched the main issues with stamina. This is, obviously a positive change, but there's a lot more that needs to be done to fix the problems with Succession stamina.
All right. This note says, after using Prime Stigma, the link to a specific skill has been changed to trigger quickly, but it does not say what skill. Do you know what this is referring to?
Yes, so it's not one specific skill, it's a few different skills. So essentially what this is doing is Stigma Stab had a very elongated animation where you couldn't do very many skills right afterwards. A few skills that you could do were Sticky Snowflake, and then even though this is a little bit longer and not as fast as the Sticky Snowflake, but you could do the Stigma into Whirlwind Cut fairly quickly. I wouldn't really consider it an accelerator, but the Sticky Snowflake one is definitely an accelerator after the stab. It doesn't cancel the stab, you go immediately into the skill. The skills that they added to this list is Stigma into D-Bite, so you can do D-Bite immediately now after Stigma Stab. You can do Forward Blind Thrust immediately. You could do a Backstep Slash immediately now, and since it has a frontal guard, that's kind of nice. And then also Red Moon and Carver. And I think that's it, if I remember off the top of my head.
Okay.
Because I think Blooming Stride was the same speed.
And then the unified, I assume this means they lined up the stiffness with the hit of Blind Thrust. Was it like delayed or weird, or what's that change?
Well, let me see what the verbiage they had on there. Has been unified with stiffness upon. Oh, so they basically, that's bad verbiage. It was originally a stun with Prime Blind Thrust. Mm-hmm. So the Succession version was a stun. The Pre-Awakening is a stiff. They changed it to a stiff in Succession as well. And they actually, by doing that, I guess they had a design difference in how the animations were compared to the stun versus the stiff. I thought it was some like weird like bug with it, and they just haven't touched it. But as soon as they changed it to the stiff version for Succession, its animation for the stab is much smoother. So there's not this like little like the best way to describe it is like a stuck feeling. Whenever you do the animation to stab, the stab has like a slight stuck version, like almost like an animation lock or something like that. It's very slight. It doesn't happen consistently all the time, but it happens often enough to where it can actually create a gap and an opening, especially for a skill that's fast but also is unprotected. So,
all right.
Yeah, I mean, it's a positive change right there. Like, some people are not very happy about losing the stun, but I mean, I personally did enjoy using the stun, but the smoothness of the animation all makes up for it right there. I can get behind the stiff over the stun if it means smoother animation, so I'm okay with that.
And lastly, what is missing from these changes? I mean, I assume with Awakening, now that they actually do have protected damage, that they're just missing the damage part. If they got significant damage increases, would help Awakening a lot.
Yeah, I mean, with Awakening, yeah, I feel like with the current meta, like everyone just does so much damage. I feel like the damage trading potential with Awakening just isn't there yet. Like, from a combo perspective, the damage is really strong, especially after all the recent buffs they've been doing to Awakening. So I think the damage from combo is fine. I just think we're just not able to outtrade some classes at all. Like it's not even in the same world of comparison. Like Suck Wizard, I think you can argue that you can't even trade with Kuno, right? So I mean that's universal, I think, for most classes where they're having that issue. But it's like Warrior, they can just slashing me and take away all my HP if I have similar gear. And then you have other classes that can do very similar damage. None are coming to mind right this second, but it's the damage trading options in Awakening are just very finite and not very strong in comparison to others.
And then Succession, I'm assuming stamina damage or stamina recovery.
Stamina damage.
Well,
We've been taking stamina damage this whole time.
Stamina cost on your damage dealing abilities.
Yes. The damage trading isn't as bad with Succession over Awakening. I mean, I still can't compete with Suck Wizard probably with similar gear, but that's its own problem. You know, like I can't even throw that into comparison. But yeah, stamina is more or less the major issue when it comes to Succession. Like either reduce the costs of the engage tools to allow us to continue combat more, but leave chase stamina costs as is. That way it's fair. We can't just run away forever. But it keeps us in combat so we can maintain, you know, our ability to continue combat for longer periods of time. Or make it so that we remove the stamina costs of our combo follow-up options.
So people are wondering or noticing that when you talk about Meiwa, you sound dead inside. Do you feel that that's true?
Dead inside? No, I wouldn't say that. Disappointed that the devs haven't talked about or even like done any changes towards these particular major issues. Yes. And I actually have some insight because I've talked to some of my Korean contacts, some of the ones that have actually gone to the FGT, which is their focus group.
Mm-hmm.
And I can kind of give some insight on how that is done. Basically, from what they told me, is it was really limited time that they had for them, which is pretty funny since they made such a big deal about it. And then on top of that, they have 2 devs assigned to each class for balancing. And some classes got one-on-ones basically with the devs, as from my understanding of what was told. But a lot of classes were grouped up together due to time constraints. So it's like, I don't know all the details, but basically, like, for example, 3 or 4 different classes would be in the room together with the Korean players that they brought in to talk about changes for those specific classes.
Right.
And they would hear the players out, but they would outright deny allowing some changes to go through. An example of which one of the Meiwa players that went there, he was telling me what he asked for, and one of the changes that they outright said no to was Sticky Snowflake cooldown being reduced. They outright said no to that. It's a 15-second cooldown super armor that applies a movement slow and an attack speed slow. But
well, you forgot the last important part about it. It also ignores evasion.
Oh, that one isn't.
You're talking about the Succession version. That only has 30% accuracy, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, fuck you asking for a cooldown reduction on Sticky Snowflake when Shadow Explosion still 16 seconds, has no protection, no CC, all right? And no slow debuff. I don't want to hear it. All right. Here's the thing, though, about the FGT. While they only had a little bit of time, there are things in here that are like changes in this list that 100%, I'm 100% sure would not have come without that FGT.
Yeah,
like some of these quality of life things that like have been just for whatever reason ignored for so long that all of a sudden are there.
Yeah, like I could definitely agree to that because like the stigma change is a quality of life change, and that's really good for Succession. So yeah, I definitely think the FGT probably had a role to play with that. It's just it's really interesting when you look at the list and you see the changes for some of these classes, and then Other classes like Musamewa, not to use them as an example because I'm obviously biased, but you know, such a small list with minimum impact, if at all, in terms of Musa, they had very, very little impact on their changes. But then you see classes like Warrior that are arguably considered a more balanced class.
I have a question
and
for
they
you.
have that.
Since your perspective is from the Blade perspective, do you think that Musa Awakening is in a worse state than Mewa Awakening?
Yes.
You think, like, overall as a class?
On how you're
overall as a
looking
class,
at it.
do you think
from a scaling perspective, yes.
No, just as an overall class in the grand scheme of things, do you think that Musa's Awakening is worse than Mewa Awakening?
When fighting against evasion players, yes. Against DR, I would say no. Because Mewa has more tools in its kit to be able to deal with evasion a little bit better. Musa has some better damage trading options, though, when it comes to DR based fights. So it's really from how you're really looking at it. It's not really a black and white, I guess, yes or no.
Okay. I'm trying to gauge like which one of the victims thinks they're most victimized. All right, we're moving on to Ninja. Ninja main weapon after using Ghost Step, it's been changed to not be linked to Ghost Greeting. That was just like a conflict of I guess key commands. I don't know. I think it impacted ninjas more than Kunos, but it got fixed on both. I don't know that it's ever happened to me, or I'm just so bad at the game I've never noticed. Backwards evades applied on good blocks during Illusion of Restraint has been changed to activate only after hitting is finished. This is kind of nice because when you use Illusion in like a group fight or even in PvE, you get knocked back so quickly, it makes you move backwards. I don't know. It being a little bit slowed down, I think, is actually just like a nice quality of life thing. Awakening. The description of Vengeful Barrier related to the stun has been modified to match the actual effect. Stun on good hits in PvE. Effect nullified during cooldown. It's relevant. Fix an issue where Ninja Evasion could be activated while locked, while awakened. This is actually a huge change for Awakening Ninjas. That when you use Stance Shift and you try to Ghost Step, if Ghost Step is on cooldown, you would do this little shimmy. That was unprotected. If you have Ninja Evasion locked, you no longer do that little shimmy anymore. That's over with. Characters slowing down when hitting Murderous Intent 1, 2, and 3 have been alleviated. Flow Execution, Flow Mock Execution have been changed to be available used via Quick Slot. Mock Explosions Flow now you can actually use from the Short Sword state. And the CC on it has changed from bound to stiffness on good hits. The speed is seamless. First hit has been increased, and after using Flow Mock Explosion, Bloodthirst, Katana Shower, Serpent Ascension, Vacuum Slash, the link to other skills has been changed to be smoother. So Flow Mock Explosion now is actually kind of nutty. So this is the same thing we were talking about with Warrior having Head Chase take you from pre-awakening to awakening, or the Ranger having Wailing Wind take you from pre-awakening to awakening. So now Mock Explosion does the same thing, and it's actually really fast, and it kind of looks like Murderous Intent, like the non-stance shift version of Murder with the side slash. So I watched a video of it's not super fast to do this chain, but I saw someone go Ninja Step Mock Explosion, and it kind of looks like you're a Murder Intent, like a slightly slower Murder Intent from Pre-Awakening, which is actually really cool. It has a long cooldown, but it also brings them immediately to Awakening, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that could have some pretty interesting impact.
Good ninjas are going to figure out some cool stuff with that. And then, because individually, that skill, everyone is, when you think of Mock Explosion, you're just imagining fucking Chaos Spree and the slow ass shit that whole, just all of it. So I don't know. It's kind of cool. It's really actually surprisingly fast, and it bringing you from pre-awakening to awakening is cool.
You said it was unprotected, right?
Yeah, that one has no protection. And then Flow Execution is another one that is now usable on the hotbar. You can't use it in pre-awakening, but in awaken combos, it's so fast, and it's a knockdown. So, and I think it's the only reliable knockdown, maybe the only knockdown period that Ninja has. But having a knockdown, I mean, as you see Sorks kind of use it all the time, is like, that's a long CC, a knockdown. So they might be able to squeeze in an extra skill or two in a combo with flow execution in there. And it's really, really fast when you use it from the hotbar. So that shit's pretty cool. Succession fixed the problem that it was impossible to link skill in a specific operation while using the Prime Dark Frenzy. And that's their Katana Shower. No. Wait, which one? Dark Frenzy is their Chaos Spree, I think. They renamed... It's so weird. Ninja got renamed Awakening skills in succession. It's like the only class that got that. I don't even understand. So fucking weird. And then Succession, the movement distance of alert stance in Prime Smokescreen and Prime Evasive Shuriken Malice has been increased by approximately twice the previous movement speed, or movement distance. So I went and tested this on Global Lab. Like, it is not as far as it was pre-nerf, but it is a lot farther than it is right now on our server. It's now far enough, the alert stance change is far enough that you can go like Ninja Step, Smoke Screen right in front of a target to attempt to get that stun, use alert stance to get to their back and shadow stomp them on the back or behead or whatever you want to do. So it's really nice. It's going to add a lot more aggressive options and escapability.
Cancer?
Yeah. So, overall, the Ninja Changes...
It's going to offer a lot more cancer in our lives.
Ninja Changes is pretty cool. They got some cool stuff. I'm excited to see what some of the good ninjas actually do with the Awakening stuff. Unfortunately, Awakening is still going to be trash for grinding, so you suck for that. Kunoichi. They also got the same Ghost Greeting Ghost Step fix / change. It's like a button conflict fix that I don't know. You like couldn't use one or the other. I'm not too sure. I asked a few people to explain it to me, and no one really could. Well, so I don't know. But I think it affected ninjas more than us. Awakening, Sosprey, Sonin, second and fourth hit speeds have been changed to be faster than before. That's the SL and B that every class has, where just like you get a little bit of healing on an unprotected hit. After using Flow Block Jump has been changed to automatically switch to the main weapon when entering W. So this is really nice. No Kunos ever took Flow Block Jump because it would leave you in Awakening, and you can't grab when you Flow Block Jump from Awakening. And you just have a lot more options from your pre-Awakening kit after a Block Jump. So that has been changed. It now does bring you to your main hand. And the stiffness during Crimson Eclipse is now a stiffness, not a stun. So that's kind of cool. The only thing that really changes is they'll now have a 12 melee AP buff when using block jump instead of 6, same as Ninja. The behavior when switching to the main weapon during Sprint and Awakening state has been changed. Not sure exactly what that does. Fixed an issue where Delighted Blast Lunar Hit crit chance was not applied during PvP, so Delighted Blast will have a little bit of crit. The Super Armor effect during the attack of Dance Macabre has been changed to the Super Armor effect applied from the beginning to the end of the technology. So Dance Macabre is completely protected for the entirety of the skill. I went and tested that. The ending of the skill is a lot different than the ending of Dance Macabre in Succession, so it doesn't really have a linger because the ending is a lot faster. But yeah, the whole skill is fast now, or the whole skill is protected. Forward guard has been added during the attack of Lunatic Discus. This is literally could just not even be in the notes because it's just like the super armor that's in Prime. I went and tested this as well. It's exactly like the super armor that's in Prime Shadow Explosion. It basically doesn't exist. You have to be hit. Like someone has to hit you with like a million skills for you to ever see the forward guard proc. It's like such a small I want to say it's like if the entirety of the animation is 3 seconds, or 2.5 seconds, then forward guard is probably applied during a 0.1 second interval. It's fantastic. The range of collisions with other monsters and characters has been reduced to enable smooth movement while using Lunar Dash 1 through 3. This is actually hugely noticeable. So if someone's nearby if you're not meaning to target them, the auto aim is not going to force you onto them. You can actually use Lunar Dash to pass through people, which is really nice, and will probably save your life quite a few times. The skill still doesn't have protection, which is sad. That needs protection. And then Succession added an effect applied around the character for each buff while receiving the ninjutsu, ghost, soul, and spirit buff. This one adds these little orbs that look like Dragon Balls with the ninjutsu stack logo inside of them. It looks really cheesy and awful, and I hate it. And it needs to get removed. It looks really ugly and does not even match the art style of anything else in the game. They're really gross. Like, imagine a Dragon Ball, but purple, with like those ninjutsu logos in them. They're gross.
That sounds pretty awful.
All right, so overall, the Awakening changes. There's some cool stuff in here that is good. Like Dance Macabre is good. The block jump change is good. And then the Lunar Dash thing is convenient. Everything else is whatever. And the two main issues is movement, protected movement, and damage are not addressed. So stick to Succession. Although, I'm sorry, if you stick to Succession, you have to look at these new ugly buffs that circle around you. I hope this does not make it to live. Those buffs, they look really bad. Really, really, really bad.
It's not your class.
Rez, you still here?
Yeah.
You played Witch for a short time. Can you, by chance, read or at least start reading the Witch buffs? Because I got a bio real quick. I linked the translated notes in Discord. I'll be right back. 1 sec.
Sure. Let me pull these up real quick. We're doing Witch. I did play Witch for a while, but it has been a fucking second. So excuse me if I don't recognize everything here. So Flow Voltaic Tet, Flow Rage Tet, Flow Gore Launch PvE and PvP damage increased by 10%. That's all of the flows for their main abilities. That's like that the pets do. So I should explain for anybody who doesn't know. Normally, flows are things that you do after an ability. It's like a little extra thing that happens after your ability. But with Witch and Wizard, their flows just add damage onto the actual ability itself. It's not like a separate thing that they do. And so that's what this is referring to, I believe, is this is all of the flows that it has, basically. So it's increased by 10%. Flow Gore Rolls PvE and PvP damage is increased by 5%. Critical chance of the following skills has been changed to apply to PvE. That is all of the flows again. Voltaic Tet, Rage Tet, Gore Launch increased by either 50 or 100%. Flow Magical Evasion has been added to Awakening. Now, I don't know what that means. I'm assuming that what that means is that it's going to be super armor off cooldown like in Succession, right?
No. This is the flow to magical evasion is they get an extra step after. So when they use Shift A or D and hold it, it's actually 2 dashes back to back, so it goes a lot further. But the super armor is not coming to Awakening.
Okay, so it's not coming to Awakening, but it is coming to Succession?
It is coming to Succession, yeah.
Okay, so Succession Magical Evasion has been improved to apply the super arm effect on the first Magical Evasion, so not the second one, just the
Correct.
first one.
Yeah.
Okay, so the second one is still going to be unprotected, but the first one is super armor, so that's going to be nice.
It's a 4-second cooldown.
When using Prime Meteor Shower Aerial or Prime Meteor Shower Focus after completing the cast, even if Magical Evasion is done, it has been improved so that it can be fired immediately when left clicking. So that's allowing you to instant cast Meteor, basically. Improved so that you can do Magical Evasion before launching Prime Blizzard Storm. It will not fire immediately, which is kind of weird. But okay.
No, that wording's confusing. Is that improved or nerfed? I don't even know.
Yeah,
like what?
I'm not sure. Like maybe that was an issue that they were having. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not quite sure what that's about, in all honesty. But when using Prime Meteor Shower Aerial and Prime Meteor Shower Focus on Horseback has been changed to maintain the cast state before firing. So I guess that means you can like hold it or whatever.
Yeah, I don't really
assuming
understand
is what that means.
I feel like they already could do that, so hopefully it uses stamina now when it runs out.
Should they?
Dude, I have a clip of a Cho Nation witch chasing me on a horse, and they're literally holding it for minutes. It's some fucking bullshit, dude.
Fixed a problem where damage was not applied intermittently. God damn it, I can't speak. You know what I'm trying to say. If the camera was rotated quickly while using Prime Lightning Storm High Voltage or Prime Lightning Storm combo. So apparently that was an issue. I didn't know that. Elemental flow has been changed. When acquiring Burning Pulse, Freezing Gaze, Luminous Tough, and Magnificent Steps, it has been changed so that it can be quickly linked to other succession skills after a succession skill. I believe what this refers to is the autocast. They now have the same autocast as Wizard, right?
Well, there's the instant cast. So the way this is set up on Witch is that they now have the instant cast on everything except for after teleport, basically. So if they chain together succession abilities one after the other, they're fast casting them the same as Wizard, but not after teleport. It's the only one. But they can use magical evasion now, and well, I mean, they always could use magical evasion to get it, but now it's actually protected. So
yeah. The critical hit rate has been changed so that if only Prime Multiple Magic Arrow additional hit is activated by the effect of Elemental Flow, the critical hit rate is not applied. Corrected the phenomenon that the previously cast skill was activated again when magical evasion was performed after linking to another skill during magical evasion while using a succession skill. And then after magical evasion, when Prime Blizzard Domain and Prime Meteor Shower Focus are activated, the skill has improved to be faster.
Yeah.
So some really nice witch changes to Succession Witch. Hopefully
nice.
It doesn't mean that we just have 2 Succession Wizards now.
Oh, it does. It does.
Oh, it does.
It 100% does. Witch is now, if you prefer to play Witch, or you like Witch, especially if you like Witch for grinding, or if you already have like a high-level Witch and you only made a Wizard because Wizard Suck was more viable, you can now play Witch. And literally the only thing you're missing is the split TP, but the magical evasion is actually good enough that you really don't need it, honestly. So, yeah. It is. We now have 2 Succession Wizards. I'm saying it right now.
Oh boy, that's not fun.
The Witch just won't have the same mobility, but it'll still be strong.
Succession Witch definitely needed some help. I think everybody could agree with that. It wasn't like super good, but
yeah, it was in a worse state for sure.
It was actually a blessing.
All right, Wizard Awakening, dude. This is why I feel like even though they rejected your sticky snowflake change, some of these changes tell me that they actually listened to the wizard in there. They assume, look, if we're to assume they listen to the podcast occasionally, then we're to assume that they are also aware that Maywas are delusional and you can't listen to all the changes they want.
Oh my gosh. Holy shit.
And Moose's, for that matter. The bound effect on Black Sphere Bulleye Destruction has been changed to apply to PvP as well. Did Bulleye, like, 100% not CC?
I don't believe so, no.
Well, now it's going to. All evasion reduction rate of Aqua Jail Explosion has been removed and changed to apply via Cataclysm. That's huge. Because, they actually want to use Cataclysm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Multi's saying that 100% Bolide never CC'd, even back in the day when Bolide's normal ability did. That is kind of funny. Casting speed increase of Cataclysm has been removed and changed to apply to Bolide of Destruction. Flow Arne's Guidance, Flow Arne's Stream, and Flow Fire Breath Marg and Flow Fire Fist Marg PvE and PvP damage increased by 10%. Now this is on top of the fact that the base AP changed on pets. So that is as well as, not in lieu of. Sorry, going back down. The following skill critical hit rate has been changed as follows in PvE. So Flow Arne Stream, Flow Fire Breath, both have 100% crit now in PvE, and Flow Fire Fist Marg is 50% crit in PvE. The character has been improved to move in the direction of the camera while using Hellfire. That's kind of cool. I wonder if that means you could turn it like mid-animation.
Hopefully, that'd be pretty cool.
And they also got the flow magical evasion added to Awakening, so they can do the double magical evasion in their Awakening as well. Which is like, while it's not protected, it actually is a lot of movement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of interested in like how much the changes with the evasion rate being on Cataclysm, the cast speed increase being on Bullide, and then just the increased damage across the board to all of the flows. I wonder how much that's going to change. Because I love Awakening Wizard. I used to play Wizard. I played Wizard before I played Witch. And the only reason I swapped to Witch was because Witch was just better, like objectively, at the time.
Yeah.
This was pre-Succession. And, man, I'd love to go back, but I hate Succession Wizard because I'm not a scumbag. And Awakening is just kind of not in a good spot. I mean, the change to fucking the punch. I forget the name of it. Fucking what's
Fire,
it called?
Marg, whatever, Hellfire.
Hellfire, yeah. The change to Hellfire was a really nice one, and I think it helped a lot. But still, was kind of in not so good of a place when compared to Witch Awakening, and in a dog shit place compared to Succession Wizard. So it's maybe these changes make it good. I don't know. Hopefully.
No, I think they make it better, but there's no way they make it as good as Succession. I'm sorry.
No way in hell. No way in hell.
Multi's pointing out he thinks the Cataclysm cast speed removals and I'm trying to remember. Is this just the animation speed of Cataclysm? Is that what they mean? Got changed, or did it also add a cast speed buff? Because I know no, only magical evasion added a cast speed buff, right? So it depends, because I don't know. When you cast Cataclysm, you get a cast speed buff. Okay, and now that's on Bullide. Got it.
Oh, interesting.
So the animation speed will be the same. That's okay. That's okay. I mean, the problem is Bullide's animation's too slow. I feel like Bullide's animation just needs to be sped up in general. Otherwise, it's just not going to be viable.
Technically, that really is a nerf then, because I think normally, whenever you dive in on a group, right, you're Wizard, you're the quintessential. I'm just gonna dive in and suicide bomb, basically. You almost always open with Kata, so
but
getting that out first would be better theoretically.
I'm okay with it. I think the evasion debuff on it is going to be more impactful than the cast speed buff. But the other thing is, I'm also okay with your strongest protected AoE skill that CCs also not having every single buff and debuff on it.
Yeah, now just do the same thing to Voltaic. Oh wait, they don't.
Yeah. It's
this has always been the issue with Witch versus Wizard, right? Is that for some reason in Awakening, I'm not talking about Succession, historically speaking, with Awakening, Wizard has always gotten fucked on, while Witch just skates right on by with the exact same shit but better. This is what always happens. You say well, maybe Cataclysm shouldn't do literally everything, and it's yeah, I agree. So then make Voltaic not do literally everything as well.
I actually have a counter argument to that.
They literally leapfrog over each other all the time.
If you have a grab, it requires no skill or no knowledge of anybody, and Awakened Wizard has a grab, so it's objectively better. It's objectively better. Sorry. Remember, if you have a grab, completely changes the balance of your class and makes you viable against everybody, anybody, anytime, anywhere. So Witch sucks, Wizard's better. Period.
Listen, let me give the suck Wizards a bit of a break, right? Because let me go old school. The fact that in my guild there are still witches that will say that the increased cast speed on Voltaic was a nerf.
Don't say there are people. There is a person who's standing strong.
Dude, the fact that witches do such insane mental gymnastics where they're yeah, actually increasing our cast speed on our most powerful ability, one of the most powerful in the entire game, that's actually a nerf. Holy shit, dude. Just crazy.
Yeah. Alright, on to Dark Knight. Yeah, Wizard's gonna be not as strong as the other Wizard. Just that's how it's gonna be. Apparently, I wonder if any of those people in the FGT mentioned that PA might be a little bit too strong. Guess not. Dark
I wonder
Knight.
why. I'm confused as to how nobody said hey, Succession Wizard, a little insane. Like, how does Succession Wizard not get nerfed in these?
Yeah.
Well, because from my understanding, they didn't talk to other classes about nerfing other classes, and just talk to class-specific players about their class.
Right, but I feel like even like Succession Wizards know how insane they are, right?
Yeah, why didn't the Succession Wizard go in there
Why
and say, like,
would
hey,
they
by the
give
way,
up their
you,
power?
because, dude.
Because not everyone who plays Succession Wizard is just playing it because it's busted. There are people out there that just legitimately like the playstyle, and they can acknowledge that the class is insane. I'm not
Right.
saying that those people are the people that are talking to the devs, but they do exist.
All right, Dark Knight. They have a passive called Spirit Consumption that before used to give 150 MP. It now gives 150 MP and 300 max stamina. They fixed a bug where damage was not applied when the camera was rotated while using Obsidian Ashes 1 through Absolute while on horseback. You know, thank God they fixed that, dude. All these Dark Knights that are hitting me with Obsidian Ashes on horseback I was like, dude, that didn't do any damage. You need that buffed. Awakening. The crowd control applied on good hits of Seed of Catastrophe has changed as follows. It is no longer a stiffness. It is now a float on good hits, which is actually a really cool change. Unfortunately, it's the only change they got. And Succession. See, that's the other thing. Can Mooses look themselves in the mirror and say that they're in a worse state than Awakened Dark Knight? I'm sorry, but there's just no way. Succession. Stiffness of Prime Pervasive Darkness has been changed to apply only to monsters. And Forward Guard has been added during the first hit. So, yeah, Pervasive Darkness, now a Forward Guard. So they have a little bit of protected damage. Although, I hear this kind of negatively affects their combos to some extent. So it's like some positives, some negatives. Prime Wind of the Spirit has been changed as follows. Now, max stamina 300 was removed. And movement speed plus 5% has been added. This just sort of negates the 300 stamina they get from the pre-awaken passive, so their stamina is unchanged in Succession, but they now have a little bit more movement speed. So there you go. They also fixed the Prime Obsidian Ashes that Dark Knights have been using from horseback recently. And that's it for Dark Knight. So yeah, you guys have float on Seed. Your class is fixed. Stop complaining. Striker. Striker. Dude, I feel like these changes... You know how Nayashe felt about Warrior and Sork? I feel like Rezlar is going to feel that way about the Striker changes.
I haven't even looked at them. So.
All right, here we go. So let's start with reminding everyone that they did change the base AP of all pets in the game. So Echo Spirit, which is all of the clones that pop out on Striker, now their base AP has been changed from 35 to 100. So they have more AP. So we'll start there, and then let's move on to everything here. So they added an explanation of Echo Spirit effect to skills that use Echo Spirit attacks. So that's kind of cool. I think a little description that says what the clones do on each of those abilities. Main weapon. After Flash Step, it has been improved to allow faster linkage with other skills. The invincibility effect of Silent Step has been improved to apply for a longer time while using the skill. That's their side dash, Shift A or D. That's good because it's actually relatively easy to catch them out of the end of that animation. And that has been fixed. Improved so that when using Flash Step by consuming Martial Shards, it is more smoothly linked to the next Flash Step. So if they're spamming dashes back to back, it's a little bit safer. And a description of backwards evasion has been added to Crouching Wolf. So Crouching Wolf, it now says on the skill that it has an iframe if they press S after using Crouching Wolf. Awakening. Damage of Echo Spirit that appears when using Awakening skills has been increased. Echo Spirit's PvE and PvP damage has been increased by 15%. So that's a nice little buff. Fixed the problem that the damage flow bite-off did not increase according to the level of Rampaging Predator. Fixed an issue where the critical hit rate of Rampaging Predator was not applied while using flow bite-off. And Hell Breaks after Ferocious Assault, Rampaging Predator, Fallout, and Awakening State Flow Tornado Kick has been added to trigger other actions. Echo Spirit's PvE and PvP damage have been increased when using the following skills, and the Echo Spirit's damage applied to each skill has been unified with the highest damage. So Skull Crusher, Infernal Destruction, Endless Explosion, and Ultimate Crush. Echo Spirit's PvP damage and Hellbreak has been increased by 35%. Fix a problem where down attack was not applied in Landbuster. It's also been improved so that backwards movement that comes out when the S key is pressed upon using Crouching Wolf in the Awakening state can be linked more quickly, and fix an issue with Fist of True Strength where it was triggered when the Operation Key of Spiral cannon was entered during Flash Step. People that use Fist of True Strength, this is pointed out to me by Rage, that that's gonna be actually weird to get used to, because when you like dash and use Fist of True Strength, if Spiral Cannon is off of cooldown, it's gonna spiral instead. Oh, you were wrong? Don't say that? Okay, he takes it back. Not wrong. No conflict. Disregard that comment. Rage is just... This is why he's the worst striker I know. Succession. Improved... This is why he's going to reroll Warrior really soon. Succession. Improved to automatically trigger the Discharge Energy effect when using Discharge Energy skills. As a result, Prime Wolf's Fang has been changed to activate immediately after Discharge Energy. Okay, so basically... Here's the meat and the potatoes. All of their clones are going to do a lot more damage on all their abilities. So, yeah. And then, the confusing thing is they have... Maybe I'm crazy, but is Shift Q not called Echo Spirit also? So it's kind of confusing, because I feel like Echo Spirit separately got buffed, the actual skill, but I don't know if they're referring to Echo Spirit in these translations, to which part. But... they literally said let me read these Echo Spirit references one more time. Tell me this isn't confusing as shit. Damage of Echo Spirit that appears when using Awakening skills has been increased. Echo Spirit's PvE and PvP damage has been increased by 15%. Echo Spirit's PvE and PvP damage has been increased when using the following skills, and the Echo Spirit's damage applied to each skill has been unified with the highest damage. Oh, and Echo Spirit's PvP damage and Hellbreak has been increased. It's like, alright, are you referring to the skill or the clones? Fucking clarify.
Yeah,
God
it's
damn
a little
it.
confusing.
Because also the clones just overall got a damage increase because their base AP is higher. So it's super confusing.
The real question is, why can't it just be both, Frosty?
Yeah. Yes, cannot. Someone's asking, did they increase base AP of Echo Spirit and then separately increase damage of Echo Spirit too? And the answer to that is yes. So, Echo Spirit and Echo Spirits and all the Echo Spirits are going to be fucking crazy, alright? That's what we know.
Don't forget the Echo Spirits Echoes.
Yeah, not to mention the Echo Spirit on Hellbreak and the Echo Spirit on Skull Crusher and the Echo Spirit of the Echo Spirit and Echo Spirit and the Echo Spirit and Infernal Destruction, Endless Explosion, Ultimate Crush. Alright? Do you have that written down? Write that down.
I am thoroughly and utterly confused now, so therefore I think we're good.
All you have to think about on your class is Sticky Snowflake. Alright, Mystic. Added explanation of Sea Dragon effect to skills that use Sea Dragon attacks. Same thing with the Echo Spirits above. Now there will be a little description on skills like Wave Orb and Rising Dragon that'll show, or I guess explain what those skills actually do. Main weapon after using Flash Step, it's been improved to connect more smoothly with Elbow Edge. Upon successful guard during the backward movement in Gauntlet state, S plus LMB improves Hidden Claw's backward movement to be triggered first. Improved to evade backwards when using S key while using Wolf's Frenzy. After Flash Step, it's now links faster with other skills. Improves so that when using Flash Step by consuming Martial Shards, it's more smooth going to the next Flash Step. The invincibility effect on Silent Step has been improved to apply for a longer time. Same as Striker. I tested this one on Global Labs. It's actually it doesn't linger after you land, but you are safe when you land now, which is really fucking nice on Silent Step. So if you're using it as a legitimate iframe to evade a grab or damage or whatever, it's actually going to evade it, provided you don't desync. A description of backwards evasion has been added to Crouching Wolf, so that now says invincibility. I'm kind of confused on this. Maybe it was desync, but I've been CC'd out of this before. It's not saying it added invincibility, it's just saying it added the description. But the description now says that it has invincibility when moving backwards. But when they use Crouching Wolf, which is the spacebar after a skill, you press S and it's an iframe. So now we know for sure it's an iframe. So Maybe before it wasn't. I've been CC'd out of it. Rage is in the chat saying he's been CC'd out of it. Now it's an iframe, so I guess if we get CC'd out of it going forward, we could blame the servers. Improve to connect to flash step while using Wolf's Frenzy. Awakening. Upon successful guarding, backwards movement assist. I don't understand this. The operation keys of Tidal Burst and Rapid Stream are entered. So I think if you're S blocking, you're not going to get stuck in block. You can just use Rapid Stream and Tidal Burst instantly. You know what's so funny is the original translation of this, Mystic was like, holy shit, Tidal Burst and Rapid Stream now have frontal guard. I was like, there's no fucking way. And I was right. There was no way. Dragon's Pit PvP damage has been increased by 10%. So this is separate from the pet buff. So remember, the pet, the dragon, all dragon abilities on Mystic, the Sea Dragon now has a base AP of 100. So the damage is increased just because of that. But it also separately is being increased on individual abilities. So Dragon's Pit, 10%. Sea Dragon PvP damage on Rising Dragon, now 16% increased damage when you consume a shard. And the PvP damage on Sea Burial, when the dragon pops out, has been increased by 15% additionally. And then they fixed an issue where it's not possible to link Absolute Mass Destruction after Flash Step while in Gauntlet state. And then improve Flash Step while using Enhanced Wolf's Frenzy. And then in succession, Prime Hidden Claw, Sweeping Kick, LMB plus RMB to activate Roaring Tiger, S. This literally doesn't even say anything. Okay, after Prime, Hidden Claw, and Prime Sweeping Kick, LMB plus RMB to activate Roaring Tiger, S plus LMB, RMB to activate Wave Orb. So I guess it's like, I think there's a conflict with these. So now it's telling you how to do them. I mean, I thought Roaring Tiger was always just LMB, RMB, but maybe people were pressing S and there was some conflict. I don't know. It has been changed so that you can use Flow Blow Drive when that's skill name. Flow Blow Drive when entering S plus F before the last hit while using Prime Soul Basher. After Prime Sea Burial, which is spelled very, very wrong in this translation. It says Sea Burial. It has been changed to connect to Flow Mass Destruction, and when using Prime Wave Orb, among other skills, has been improved to trigger in the direction of the camera. So there you go. I think the Awakening buffs are significant. More damage increases. Silent Step is safer now, and Crouching Wolf S movement is safer, so it's kind of good. And then looks like Succession is just kind of quality of life stuff, but also the Silent Step affects Succession as well, so they'll be a little bit safer. The problem right now, someone in chat saying the problem right now is when you press SLMB RMB, it does roaring. Ah, okay. Got it. So if you want to use Wave Orb, it doesn't. It uses roaring first, and now it's going to be fixed. Okay. Lon, main weapon, Wind Orchid, 1 through Absolute, is now available in Quick Slot. This one I didn't get to test myself, but this one is interesting because there's 2 versions of this ability. If you just cast a skill with SRMB, it's kind of slow. The first part is protected, and then the last part is not. But if you use it after abilities, it doesn't do the last part. It only does the protected CC. So I don't know which version happens from the Quick Slot, but now you can use it from the Quick Slot. The crowd control on Morning Dew hits has been changed from bound to stiffness. The airstrike of Morning Dew has been changed to make it easier than before. Changed to allow the use of Phantom Dance after Black Spirit Pendulum Kick's first hit. I actually love this because Black Spirit Pendulum Kick, that's their shitty alt. And I think this changed in, yeah, this also changed in Succession. That's their really, really shitty alt, and now it lets you cancel out of it with an iframe. That's how shitty the alt is. They had to add a way to get out of it and change your mind from using it. It's like so bad. Instead of making the alt good, they're just like, all right, we'll give you a way out. We'll give you a way out. That was pretty cool, dude. After using Primrose Sprint and Ultimate Primrose Sprint, the linkage between other skills has been changed more smoothly, so I guess they'll be able to go into skills faster after their backwards moving iframe. Awakening. After using Phantom Dance, same thing, skills more smoothly. Upon successful Bridal Despair hits, the stun has been changed to apply only to monsters, and Bridal Despair now has a forward guard. So this is interesting. Some protected damage that's not a super armor, so it can actually block incoming damage. It's kind of interesting. The crowd control of Black Spirits. Man, that is fucking crazy. I don't even know if this is a good or a bad change. Bridal Despair, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Bridal Despair is the two blades that are side by side that stun, right? Like, that is like... I feel like once you get used to it, maybe it'll be a good change, because it's really high damage, and it not being protected is kind of lame. I don't know.
Chat saying Bridal Despair change was useless. It's a change that didn't do much.
Well, I mean, it still affects the class a lot, though. It's just, do you agree with the change or not? Because, yeah, it's the SRMB skill. That's like the main stun skill. I feel like Lons catch with that all the time or extend their combos with that. Maybe they can change their combos up and you can actually use it without having to worry about the CC limit. And now that it has frontal guard, I don't know. We'll see. That one is a to be determined. It might be really good, but it might also be shitty. So it's definitely a big change, though. And then the crowd. Let's see. Some of Eradication's attack behavior has been changed, and a new standby action has been added when waiting in awakened non-combat state. Nice, dude. The FGT's on it, dude. Our awakening AFK stance has been improved.
AFK stance.
Hell yeah. Succession Prime Salpuri Purge cooldown has been changed from 18 seconds to 16. And then the other things were just linkage and being able to use cancel out of the alt. And then let's see, it has been improved so that Prime Primrose Sprint is activated when using Cymbidium Trail and White Heron skills while acquiring both Prime Primrose Sprint and Ultimate Primrose Sprint. So I guess you could cancel out of the Rebams now. If you use Primrose Sprint, and before you could not. So I guess that's kind of nice. Let's test this here. Oh yeah, no, I'm not on Global Labs. I'm an idiot. Pretend I didn't just test that on live server. Okay, so Archer.
Oh man,
Archer.
That's a big yikes.
Archer. Moving on to Archer. Archer. Well, you'll now be able to cancel it. The animation's kind of long and leaves you unsafe because White Heron is like it's forward guard at the start and midair, and the end is not. So being able to cancel out of it actually will be kind of nice, to be honest. I wasn't testing. I was just looking at what it is like now. All right. Okay.
Right.
Sure. Yeah. Likely excuse.
All right, Rez, your class. You want to read through your classes? Your Archer got a bunch of changes.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude. Let's hear these.
So, after using Meteor Dive Absolute Meteor Dive, rather, or Meteor Dive 1 through Absolute. Sorry, fuck. The linkage of using other skills has been improved to be more smoothly. Now,
that English is so good too.
I know.
Improved to be more smoothly.
I never really felt like I had a lot of issues using other skills after Meteor Dive, but I don't know, maybe other people did. Maybe I'm just using the wrong abilities after Meteor Dive. I don't know. I never really found to have any issues with that, so I don't really get that, but okay. While using Ensnare, linkage to Glide has been made possible. Now, I guess what they mean is you're going to be able to cancel out of it, like cancel out of Ensnare, I guess. I don't really know what this... I don't really... Another thing that I don't really understand, because I think most people, whenever they're buffing up on the Archer, you do right-click for the all AP buff, and then you cancel that with Ensnare for the critical hit rate buff, and then you do the Shift Q for the ranged AP buff, and then you glide out of the Shift Q. You don't glide out of Ensnare, so that's kind of weird. But, okay, I guess maybe some people don't do the Shift Q. I think most people do, but some people don't. I guess that's fine. And then damage of piercing lights 1 through 3 charge has been changed. Essentially now it used to do it's essentially a buff. If you charge it all the way, the 3 charges, it has like 3 different like states where the bar goes all the way across. If you fully charge it, then it'll do more damage. It's essentially a buff to piercing light, which is the big they stand there and like hold it for like, I don't know, a second and a half and then launch it, and it has like a 22-second cooldown or something like that.
Right.
So a nice buff. I don't really think it needed a damage buff. I felt like Piercing Light's damage was fine. I usually, if I launch that bitch into a crowd, I'll usually pop a kill or two. So, I mean, I guess I'll take it. Shit, I ain't gonna complain.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the Piercing Light damage change is PvE only. Otherwise, wouldn't it state PvP damage has increased by X%? I think just these, aren't these multipliers only PvE? Like when we got all the PvE changes on classes like a few months ago, they changed all the damage modifiers, but they said they were all PvE only. So my assumption would be this is actually only a PvE change. Am I crazy on that?
I think you're crazy. I think this is just overall damage, like PvP and PvE. Like this is just changing the modifier. So this is gonna affect both PvP and PvE. Making it PvE would make no sense because I don't think anyone uses Piercing Light in PvE.
Well, because it doesn't do enough damage, right?
No, because you have to stand there and charge it for 2 seconds. Like, why would you use that?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I guess same thing with like Grim Reaper's Judgment. You don't really use it in PvE. But did the normal hit increase or no? I can't tell because it doesn't say the normal hit damage. It only shows this like 1570 times 5.
Well, no, so I think before it did the same damage no matter what. I think this is how it worked. I'm not positive. I haven't been an archer for very long, right? But I think this is how it worked. It did the same damage no matter what, but it was like, if you didn't charge it, you had to basically like pinpoint accuracy that bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you fully charged it, it was like the size of a cataclysm, right? Or a voltaic, or even wider. So now it's going to be, the damage is reliant on the charge. I think that's what this says. I think. I'm not positive, but I believe that is what this is. Overall, these changes are fine, I guess. I don't really see the need for them. They're not nerfs, so I'm down for it. But,
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Kind of weird. I haven't really struggled with any of these things, but maybe other people do. I have no idea.
Right. All right.
General Moores in your chat says Meteor Dive has huge gaps, so it's maybe a fix for that. Glide Cancel and Ensnare is pretty meh. A Piercing Light damage boost is relatively pointless since it already did damage. Yeah.
Right.
I haven't gotten CC'd out of Meteor Dive a lot.
Huge is an exaggeration. The ending is not protected, but huge. You're bordering on DK talk here. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I haven't been playing Archer for very long, so maybe he's experienced a lot more of it than I have. I feel like I haven't really gotten CC'd out of Meteor a whole lot, personally.
I personally can't wait for the day that every class that Frosty likes to play gets nerfed to the fucking ground. I can't wait, because I'm going to be like, it's just Frosty being a fucking complainer again, like usual. Like, oh my god. Listen to those fucking tears coming out. It's just fucking awful.
Look, dude, you don't have to have a gap on Meteor Dive as long as that stiffness is removed. You know? That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely not. No.
I mean, you basically have Spiral Torpedo 2.0 from the old days.
Dude, dead class if you do that. Dead class.
All right, let's move on to Shy. And no, I agree
no
with
one cares.
I do agree with General Moores that the linkage to other skills improved. It probably means you get to start the next skill more quickly, so it'll be a little bit more safe going from Meteor Dive to something else. Shy says
that'd be pretty cool, because I also feel like sometimes whenever I like see someone with Meteor Dive, sometimes, not all the times, like they'll desync and like be able to move before I can actually fucking like get a real CC off. Like, it's really annoying.
Lefty2 says, can we talk about how these sick fucks at Cacao Games added a seasonal quest to kill 750 shuriken mobs? Shy, alright. Shy, dude, you know what's so funny is after these patch notes came out, Cinny said he's rolling back to Shy. So he can grind in Secrea forever.
Wait, no, he's in my guild.
I know.
No.
He about to be a Shy.
Does that mean we can get a Shy on the fucking podcast finally? Because I know everyone's been fucking... Well, a lot of Shies have been asking for someone to come on that's a Shy.
Yeah, that's not happening. Shy,
We
main weapon.
only have real classes as guests on the show.
Yeah, until
Oh,
until they make
God.
it so
Our
Shy's
viewership's gonna drop by 50%.
until they make it until they release a patch on global apps that says Shies are no longer allowed to enter RBF. Shies are not coming on the podcast. All right, Shy, main weapon. The projectile speed of flooring skills has been increased. The play dead cooldown reduced from 10 minutes to 5 minutes. Come out and play. All DP reduction effects have been changed to apply to monsters, which is fucking... That's crazy. Black Spirit Get Well's HP recovery changed from 500 to 700 HP every second. When using Black Spirit Get Well, all DP plus 300 applied to Shy. They have like a little self PA now. Forward Guard has been added to Quick 2. Out of My Way has changed as follows: improved to be able to use from one or more Florin leaves. The effect of all AP buff has been changed according to the number of consumed Florin leaves. When come out is used, Shy's movement speed has been increased. Hop 3 has been improved so that it can be used even when in talent state, and the effects of over here have been emphasized to make them more recognizable. And then under the talent page, continuing the use of the same musical instrument has improved the effectiveness of the skill to be applied quickly. When the effects of summer, rain, sun, moon, stars, time to shine, shout to... Doesn't this sound like a fucking fake class? Like every one of these abilities. I was
gonna point out, I love the fact that like with like normal classes, right? You have like, oh, Frenzied Destroyer, Serpent's Ascension, Grim Reaper's Judgment, and then Lashai you have come out, get well, like, out of my way.
Yeah. When the effects of summer, rain, sun, moon, stars affects the Care Bears, Dora the Explorer pops out now after 3
Dora
seconds.
the Explorer pops.
Time to shine, shout to the sky, misty haze, and delusive light are applied. The effect has been emphasized to make it easier to recognize. Fixed a problem in which flooring skills not linked after hop was activated as a skill slot in the talent state. Fixed another problem after using tuck and roll while playing in the talent state. All right. Even their fucking joke class got buffs.
Yikes. That's more than Musa can
Poor
say.
Moose has only got a fat damage increase on projection, dudes. Poor bastards. All right, Guardian. Main weapon, the linkage behavior has been improved so that you press Q while using Juggernaut, you will immediately switch to defense. The movement distance of Blackblood's descent has been increased. Improved the use of Sturdy Step and Frost Slide while using Fierce Disdain. Improved the Sturdy Step, or the impact of Sturdy Step has been eliminated and changed to move to the end of the skills used. Forward Guard has been added to the first hit of Axe Throw. The cooldown of Absolute Savage Hack has been reduced by 1 second, and improved the phenomenon not landing when Amu's objurgation hits in the air. I think this was a similar to like the Zerker thing where you get stuck in the air like during certain things. Awakening fixed a phenomenon that the float's effects of Scornful Slash was not applied when hitting at a long distance. Cleansing Flame has been improved so that the attack direction can be switched according to camera rotation until immediately after the attack. Bound on good first hit of Searing Fang is changed to apply only to monsters, and Super Armor has been added because Guardians didn't have enough protection. It has been improved. Oh, wait a minute. That bound is gone. That's actually kind of huge because wasn't that bound like the re-CC that they use a lot of times in their combo? It's like the 2 hits. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. That's actually kind of interesting.
Thinking of something else.
Yeah, it has been improved.
I can't imagine them fucking nerfing down their OP class.
I don't know if it's a nerf so much as like it kind of would change their combo if it's the skill I'm thinking of. If it's a skill that's like 2 hits, the bound is useless outside of E-buff engages. Okay, so never mind. It has been improved to recover quickly after the attack after an attack by Flow Suppress. It has been improved to use certain skills after hitting Frigid Wind's first hit. Frigid Wind has been improved so it can be registered and used in skill slot, and after using Infernal Nemesis, the effect of the attack has been corrected to be smaller than the attack range. Succession improved phenomenon of landing on the other skill also, and then the cooldown of Prime Savage Hack was reduced and fixed a linkage of a skill. So, as if Guardians use combos. True.
Your Gildy, when I killed you last week, and I fought that Guardian. He was literally one-shotting me with his swipe.
I know he sent me a screenshot of the kill feed, and it's like, I'm surprised he had trouble with this guy. I was like, okay. All right. So that's the class changes. Do you guys have any overall thoughts on the changes here so far? I do want to add this one note that they added at the end of this. And we're going to talk about the DP changes in a second. But they said, in addition, you may be curious about the amount of damage as well as the performance of the Awakening, but after the increase in defense efficiency, the damage amount will be adjusted for the Awakening techniques that are determined to be necessary through additional data verification. So because they added this DP change, they're going to wait and see kind of how this affects everyone's damage and then do more Awakening buffs down the road. Anyway, so that having all been said, overall, positive direction, negative direction, who got the best buffs and who got shafted? We'll start with
Warrior probably got one of the better buffs.
Witch. No, Succession Witch, dude.
I said Warrior got one of the better buffs, but yeah, Succession Witch probably.
I think Succession Witch came out number one.
They got the biggest buffs for them, but we'll have to see how that actually looks.
I think in terms of the winners, the big winners of the day, I think it's Succession Witch, Awaken Warrior, and honestly, Awaken Zerker. I think the changes to Sork are probably pretty nice. I think the changes to who was it? Goddamn Valk are pretty nice, especially since they get no love whatsoever.
Yeah,
I think the changes to Mystic are pretty nice. It feels like I was talking about this on stream the other day. It seems like the Mystic changes are geared towards making it flow a lot better, which, like, I've told you this before, Frosty, that class just feels very clunky to me.
Wait, sorry, which class?
Mystic.
Oh, okay.
It seems like a lot of those changes are aimed towards making it flow like a lot better, like between abilities and stuff. So
yeah,
I don't know. This seemed really nice.
I think people are sleeping on Ranger.
But...
I'm going Witch first, Sork second, Ranger third. I'd put Warrior fourth.
Really?
I think the Ranger buffs are actually kind of nutty. I think you're sleeping on Zerker.
Well,
yeah, I know, but a lot of the Zerker ones are like convenient and like buggy shit, right? So they will have a huge impact. I just don't know if it's going to be like. I mean, the Shake-Off one is crazy. I mean, that one's really cool, and the cooldowns are nice. I don't know. We'll see. It's hard. It's hard to say.
I think every Zerker is really apprehensive to like talk about the Shake-Off one because we're like, let's see it work first, because it feels like Shake-Off's super armor doesn't work, and everyone knows that the iframe on Giant Leap doesn't exist. So I think everybody's kind of looking at that like. You know, they're kind of giving it the side eye, like, is this shit actually gonna work, or...
Yeah. The Mystic buffs are nice, too. A little bit of extra damage on their stupid dragon that kind of does no damage right now, plus the base AP increase, and then the Silent Step change is, I feel like, the biggest one. Like, that being completely safe at the end is actually really fucking nice. I don't know, I feel like Dark Knight got shafted the most of all the classes. Like, even more than Moose's. As much as Moose's hate to admit it, if projection does good damage now, it's actually going to be a viable skill.
It's not going to.
We'll see.
They're never going to use it outside of a combo, so it's really risky to use in large scale.
But their complaints are that they don't do damage in combos. They can't kill people.
No, their complaints is accuracy, which is relating to damage, but it's in a different way. They have the damage modifiers, they just don't have the accuracy.
One of their complaints is damage also, like just straight up. I mean, I hear them complain to me all day long. It's my most discussed thing on a day-to-day. Every day it's just Moose is complaining about how they don't do any damage, and that they should be able to run off and Tet and
we got
Levers
coming up.
I know, 10 minutes for Vel. Yeah, I don't know. The Sork changes are so strange to me because I still am like a little bit confused because the Sork ones are like they were complaining about their damage after the PvP changes a few weeks ago, and then they added a bunch of other stuff not related to damage.
So, in case anyone is curious, projection level 3
And
has a 25% accuracy rate. By the way, 25.
And then all pet. I mean, the pet damage itself. Pet damage is what? Do all
So-
pets have 50% accuracy? So look, dude, projection's going to be their new blooming.
I mean, maybe that's why they did it to projection, because Moose's complain about their accuracy. So PA looked at Moose's Awakening kit and was like, all right, what's the highest accuracy rate that they have? Projection, 25%. I don't think there's a skill in here with a higher accuracy rate. And then they buffed the shit out of that.
Yeah. Dude, it's crazy though. Like, people ask all the time, like, are they gonna do any more changes? Are they gonna do any more changes? Are they gonna do any more changes after those PvP changes? Right, like the damage ones, the ratio changes. And like at first I was like, obviously yes. And then like 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, I'm like, maybe they're not, because like they're not adding shit to Global Labs. So it is kind of nice to see some actual changes, and on a lot of classes they are meaningful changes. So that's kind of good. All right, let's talk about this DP shit. Oh wait, let me get into a party for Vel. This DP shit's kind of crazy though. So they added a bunch of new brackets, and they lowered the amount of DP you need to get brackets by a little bit. So let's go over these real quick. All right, so the DP brackets before you needed to be 339 to get the 19%. You needed to be 346 to get the 20%. Now you only need to be 341 to get the current last bracket. You only need 335 for 19, only 329 for 18. So they kind of like lowered it little by little. So it's a little bit easier to get the brackets. And then after 346, they added 10 new brackets. So at 347, you get 21%, all the way up to 401, where you get 30%. And then they also added extra AP brackets, where you get an additional. It looks like it just goes up by a little bit, 3, and then 2, and then 2, and then 3, at extremely high AP amounts. So 309, 316, 323, 330, and 340. You get a little bit of bonus AP. What are you guys' thoughts on the DR brackets?
I think it's fine. It's necessary. How it's going to affect everything, hard to say. They obviously are also looking at adding in more AP brackets, however minimal they are. Likelihood that they might adjust that in the future,
Yeah, I hope if
they probably want to see how the DP changes affect things, the state of things, but
yeah,
they might consider doing more for the.
I do
the
hope
AP.
if they add more AP brackets, that they, similar to the way they did with DP, that they redistribute the AP ones a little bit on the low end. I think would be nice. Like low.
I think what they should consider doing, and it might break the game probably in this fuck up evasion, but as a way to kind of deal with, because we're in agreement that evasion's stronger than DR, right?
Until you get accuracy, yeah.
Okay, until you get accuracy. So, but what AP with accuracy are you considering the right amount? So like 301 with 2 pendons kind of thing?
No, I mean, like, so for me, basically anyone with 281 and 1 accuracy accessory can kill 364 DP with evasion.
Yeah, 364 isn't really that big a deal.
I know, but like the amount.
I'm talking about like when you consider looking at these new 400 brackets. Because I mean,
if you get all the way to 400,
they're scaling. They're slowly scaling us up, right?
right.
Like, people are going to be getting closer and closer to that 300 and 400, that 300 AP and 400 DP.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, there's a large portion of the community that is not even near that. But people are at the point where they're at the 300 and 360, right? That's fairly, like,
it's becoming more commonplace. Yeah.
Yes. So, people will eventually start hitting that, 300 and 400 DP, or maybe a little bit lower AP, but the 400 DP.
So what is your proposed change though? Or you said you were what they should do?
Basically, I'm like, instead of doing the 2 AP for past, what is the bracket now? Let me see. Where is it at? Hold the phone. Where's it at? Oh, it's at the
3
top.
AP at 309 and 316. The 3 AP and the 2 AP.
Basically, instead of doing like 2 AP, something like that's not even really super impactful, why not the 2 accuracy, or maybe slightly more, like 3 or 4? Would you consider that as something that's...
I mean, I don't mind it so much, but it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense unless they just remove evasion gear from the game entirely and just add evasion brackets. And you get all, like, if they're just going to unify one type of build, then they have to do it on both sides, right? Otherwise, there's not really a point.
But isn't that kind of the idea that people are thinking that they're planning to do with the Dead God armor? Because when more and more of those pieces come out, they're seemingly just making it all one piece, like not really any diverse build, right?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know.
We don't have obviously everything out yet, but
right,
it's possible they could have alternative set options for the Dead God armor, but likelihood is no, because diversity and PA are not two words you usually put together.
I feel like because of all the journals and everything they've added kind of recently, it's just, and the new stuff in Odalita, it's so easy to get accuracy. And with Tauros Belt, you don't even really have to lose much AP at all. Like, you lose 2 AP for
that's
20
a new belt we don't have,
right?
That's in the new region.
So I just feel like it's just not that hard to get accuracy anymore. And then like people's AP is starting to get so high that you don't need to just keep stacking AP anymore. Like, I don't know.
Well, you just make sure you keep that 301 bracket, and then you just stack up.
Here's what I'm wondering: do these new DR brackets completely fuck up T1 Node Wars? Because
that's what some people were kind of commenting on. I think
they're not going to help.
It seems really easy to hit the AP cap since it also includes crystals and stuff, and then just keep stacking your DP up. Like, all these people that are already relatively tanky are now going to have 10% more DR.
Yeah, Guardians are going to be even nuttier, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Guardians already kind of dominate the T1 scene.
I don't know why they haven't looked at that and just adjusted it where it's maxed out on which bracket you can achieve. Like, I feel like that would be such a simple change for them to do.
You overestimate their abilities.
Yes,
but,
I do.
Yeah, Guardians are already like such a dominating force on T1s. Every like T1 guild that's like a serious T1 guild, like they're like, we do T1s and nothing else. Like they have Guardians like Siege guilds have Witch and Wizards.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's because they're just so fucking tanky. They're so hard to kill. I mean, me on my Archer in a T1 Node War, I can still one kill people because Full Bloom goes burr. But against Guardians, I actually can't. I know.
I need a buzzer, dude.
I know you love that meme so much. That's why I did
love it in March when it was common and used. Sorry. Yeah. Well, I mean, Guardians could use more buffs, right?
No. I think that's something no one says.
All right. Yeah, no, but my whole thing is like if they do add more AP, because I think they said something like they're going to look at it, right? Like they might add more AP brackets. If they do, I really hope they redistribute some of them. Like they're they're weighted so heavily at such weird spots. I don't know. Let's see, what else do they got here? The siege, the siege changes. All right. So I'm 85% sure now, Rezar, that the change is just to all guilds participating in Siege. But the max HP has been lowered from 5,000 to 1,000. And if that is how it works, I think that is a great change and helps everyone. for the most part. Makes Siege a little bit less terrible for everyone who's not a wizard. And yeah, overall, I like that change. Also, in the same vein...
Yeah, but it says specifically during occupation.
Yeah, but they also spelled sea burial, sea braille. So
Fair.
that's a community translated page. Not like an official translation. Yeah.
Vel started.
Yeah, Vel's up. They also changed the respawn timers. I'm kind of curious your guys' thoughts on this. Like, I know, Nayash, you don't really Siege, but Rez with they changed the starting respawn timer from 60 seconds to 10, and now caps out at 60 when Siege has gone on for a long time, whereas before it was 2 minutes. How do you feel about that?
Yeah. Well, they changed the max. I found this funny. They changed the maximum time you can be dead for to what the current minimum time you can be dead for is.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's good. Well, like, I mean, everyone hates just sitting there and watching, right? Like, that's the lamest part of Siege, is not being able to play, right? But more importantly than that I don't think a lot of people are considering, like, that means that not every single push is going to be a PA push. Because that's part of the reason why, like, PA is so kind of insane in Siege, is because pushes take so long to happen that by the time you're doing it, PA is back up, right?
Yeah.
So now you're going to be able to get pushes in before PA is off of cooldown. So we're going to see a lot more, like, non-PA fights, I think, which is going to be interesting. Or maybe people, I don't know, maybe people are going to save, like, some of their PAs for the second fight. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to be like, okay, only half of our PAs are going to go. And then, hopefully we can save some for the next push or something like that. I have no idea. I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting to see if people just keep playing like they have and then just don't have PA for some pushes, or if people are going to make adjustments to how they do things.
It also
just fucking rip PA off the fucking Witch Wizards and give it to Shy already.
It also means you won't have Q buff for every engage in Siege.
Yeah.
Because the 60-second respawn timer minimum plus like regrouping and getting to the other person's base, it was almost like not just Zerker, but like everyone's e-buffs are basically up every time.
Yeah.
I do love, I don't know, like I'm in like a love-hate with this one, because one thing I did like about the Siege death timers is your death felt super impactful. Like, you really didn't want to die in Siege, you know? Like, it felt awful. But waiting that long was pretty shit, although it was a nice bathroom break. Sometimes Sieges go long, and you could go refill your drink. But
also now you're not going to get punished as hard for, like, losing a fight.
You're not going to get punished as hard. Your guild's not just going to get one push because you died once. You're going to respawn enough time that if a guild is stronger than you, you'll be able to actually defend for a little while. Plus, there's just going to be, like, way more action. Like, everyone's KDs are going to be a lot higher. I feel like they need to change Stormtrooper with this, because they didn't just cut the respawn timer in half like you're going to get double kills. It's like 1/6 the length. So people are going to have like 300, 400 kills. Like, Stormtrooper should not be 100 kills anymore with this change.
Yeah.
I don't know. Overall, both changes together are kind of cool. Makes me actually want to go Siege, at least on the farmlands. Not in castles, but in the farms I'd be down. They have titles for 200 and 300 kills. Yeah, but they still just need to be moved up, dude. I don't know. I mean, that's a cool title. Is that one of them? I've not even heard that one. Oh, Vel is dead. Look at the big old squid, dude. Later, Vel. All right, let me not get my heart real quick.
Yeah, same.
Oh, totally no heart.
Did you know you opened it? No heart?
No heart. It's another
one of us has to get one, right? Statistically.
Statistically, one of us has to get one, at least on one of these fucking episodes.
Eventually.
I did not get one either, which means you're going to get one, Frosty. Easy.
All right, let's see. At least make me cheer. Oh, I didn't get shit. This game. Fuck, dude. Okay, so Vel. Let's see. Are there any changes for Vel? Nope. Vel still never gives hearts. All right. I'm excited for that change.
Bell has no heart.
Let's move on to these PvE things here. Dude, it's the other thing that's kind of blowing my mind here is it's so many changes at once with all of the class changes, the new DR brackets. I mean, these DR brackets are going to immediately be affecting people. Obviously, a lot of people are not anywhere near 400 DP or even 390 or 380, but there's a lot that are 360 to 370. Like, I only need to change a couple of things to hit that 25% bracket. It also, I think, makes Narc earrings and Orkinrad belt a little bit more important, and the market is actually reflecting that. Because, I mean, the base narcs are shit. But a bunch of base narcs got bought. There were 2 pen narcs. The night before Global Labs update, there were 2 pen narcs on buy. One of them was sitting at 26 bill or 27. And now there's 0 and there's 4 orders up. The price has gone up. And then Orkinrad belt. Like, now that DP past 346 actually matters somewhat. It's not huge, but it matters. So if you're like min-maxing and like just, you feel like you have nowhere to go. Like at my gear, it felt like getting DP meant nothing. Like evasion kind of means a little bit as I keep adding it, but the DP itself meant nothing. And now it actually does. So that I do like about it because it makes it feel like you can just keep growing. But people are going to notice most people are going to have like somewhere between 1 and 3% more DR the second this comes to live server, or most somewhat geared people. Yeah, I don't know. Tet narcs, man. Maybe they're not the worst thing in the whole world now. Rez, are you gonna rock Pen Forest Ronaros or?
Fuck no. The fuck? Why would I do that?
Just cause.
What?
It's because why not? All right, Gatekeepers. Gatekeepers got changed. Let me get to that note so I can have it exactly. They changed Gatekeepers and field bosses. Okay. Gatekeepers now, they did this like role play thing. It is said that it's not exactly known how powerful they are, but eyewitnesses accounts for 5 great adventurers wearing sparkling Tuvala gear smelted in the Raven's lair and barely fought. According to an investigator in Baron, the bloody rituals and newly born sluicemen were powerful enough to rise again soon after they fell. More powerful rewards can be earned by defeating the strengthened Gatekeepers. So I was told that if you were to go with 5 people in full pen Tuvala, that a Gatekeeper is going to wipe your party. So that's kind of interesting because right now, like 5 pen Tuvala would just wreck a Gatekeeper. So we'll see. So hopefully the rewards are good enough, and they're actually going to be hard to fight now. So that's cool. Not sure what the additional rewards are going to be for them though. Maybe people tested on Global Labs. I have not seen. The field bosses like Mudster, Tree Spirit, Bag, Red Nose, and the one in Sheer Ruins have been increased. You can now get Ancient Spirit Powder, and if you get RNG carried, you can get fail stacks, 20, 30, and 40 stacks, like drop directly from them, which is kind of sick. My question is, how much dust do these bosses need to drop for you to actually want to go to a field boss? Like, what's the minimum amount of Ancient Spirit dust that they'd have to drop for you to be like, all right, I got to start going to field bosses?
10K.
Shut the fuck up. Well, I was thinking about it. I was like, dude, I wonder if they're going to drop as much as like these Dark Rifts that give like 100. But if they gave 100, that's a lot. That means you're going to get 20 Kaffir Stones every time you show up. So it can't be that high. But
I fucking hope so.
You think? I mean, I don't know. You think that'd be too OP though?
That would definitely encourage everyone and their mother to fucking go. That's for sure.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like, the problem is with field bosses right now, there's no point in going. Unless it's Miranda or Zarka maybe, and that's pretty much it. Like, why go anywhere else?
All right, so what about this? Let me propose this to you. What if it dropped all the shit it drops right now, random gold bars and the bullshit that's like mostly meaningless, but it also, because it also has the chance to drop a fail stack, so you have that rare chance that you'll get a 20, 30, or 40 stack, but it dropped 50 spirit dust, so you're guaranteed 10 Kaffir stones when you show up to a field boss. Is that worth going? If they take like, because I think if enough people show up, it should only be like, what, a 5-minute fight or so?
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be fine. I mean, it's not super huge, but it's still good. You know, like maybe not necessarily worth your time over grinding, but I don't know. That's still pretty decent with the off chance that you get a drop, a rare drop. The thing is, if they do that, and they add like 10 different Kaffirs per person kind of thing, that would be really good for the economy. Because what someone said in chat here, like with Dead God armor, Kaffir pre-orders, there's 250,000 pre-orders that need to be filled because of Dead God armor. Everyone's trying to get their tree or the red nose maxed out so that they can actually turn it in for the Dead God armor, and then on top of that, you just all the other gear, of course, as well. And it's just like it's a lot of fucking Kaffirs that everyone needs.
Xavier said, just give us crons. But then he corrected it and said Kaffis and stars. He meant Kaffis. We already get crons, dude. That's the problem.
They should just rename crons to just disappointment.
I think they should. I think they should go traditional BDO style and appeal to our gambler's nature, and add a chance to drop a box. Right when you go to a world box, you kill the boss. It has a chance to drop a box, and in this box, you can get anywhere from 1 boss aura to like pin whatever you're fucking killing. So you kill Zarka, you get the Zarka weapon box. There's a chance you get anywhere between 1 boss aura to pin C20 Kazarka main hand. That way, people that like to go for those gambles, they can have fun with that.
That would have
and then
to
everybody
be
can rage.
Such a low chance, though.
I think they should they should just make it its own little mini game. What was that show where like you get something and then he's like, or no, you choose a door and then they're like, but wait, what about behind door number 2 or 3? They should just do that with that. That would appeal to the gambling thing. Like, dude, you could get this. You could get these 10 Kaffirs, or you could look behind door number 2.
But in all honesty, like, what if like obviously I was being like ridiculous then, right? But what if there was a chance to drop something that was like an enhanced version? Like, not because let's be honest, like a base Zarka, I think most people kind of look at a base Zarka and they're like, that's a little bit of extra work for a base Zarka. And like Kaffir's edition would be nice, but the reason to go to Zarka should probably be the Zarka, right? So I mean, what if there was like a chance for you to get like an enhanced like version, like a plus 15 or something? Obviously not.
Well, I mean, they
20, but
they did recently change the boxes so that it would sell the box as like a TET box, right? Because I seen one recently.
No. That's the people that are converting their gear to a real gear. It turns it into a box so you can open it on a different class.
For some reason, I thought that was also
They do that in the Night Vendor, but not actual. No, that was you're thinking of when Briz posted that forum post explaining like if you could sell items and it turned them into boxes. So when you bought them, it was for any class instead of for specific classes.
Yeah. That's probably what I'm thinking of. And then I seen probably the seasonal character thing. Like yesterday, someone had it.
Right.
So I mean, something like that would be.
I do like that idea, Rose. Up to plus 15. That makes sense.
Yeah, because I feel like people don't go to world bosses anymore. I feel like people like quite a few people go to Karanda, and then like Zarka. Some people go to Zarka, but then nobody goes anywhere else anymore aside from Garmoth Vel. Like that's it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because there's 10 bill worth of value to be gained potentially versus 100 mil.
I mean, I always felt like you should get, if a boss on average takes 10 or 15 minutes, you should at least get gold bars equal to like 15 mil, like guaranteed every time you go. And then you should also just, I feel like world bosses should also have a chance to drop Kaffir's bundles. Just because they're forever
I mean-
useful. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like that's definitely a way to keep bosses relevant for sure. You're absolutely right.
Oh, well, the field boss
just-
change is a nice step. And gatekeepers, dude. Do you think Man-Up's going to guard the gatekeepers again? We're going to go back to those days?
Oh my gosh, I hope so.
I mean, if it's actually worth it, then yeah, absolutely.
Man-Up will be back. All right, and then lastly, but not least, the RBF changes. So I'm going to read this as it's stated here. It's a little bit confusing the way it's worded, but I'll try to make sense of it for everybody after I read this. So they added a new server where you can enjoy the Red Battlefield RBF. If you escape menu Red Battlefield, you'll be directed to the Red Battlefield located on Uno 2 server. Uno 2 servers are not affected by server move latency. A total of 10 battlefields are open in the Uno 2 server Red Battlefield, and the server name exposed in the Red Battlefield status window has been changed to the battlefield name. The base battle/occupation battle has been changed to participate in the Red Battlefield, even if it is on the server in progress. The limited RBF will no longer be able to participate. And if there are 2 less people in the RBF from the time Red Battlefield starts, the battlefield will end after 1 minute. And the characters in the RBF return to position before entering RBF. RBF rewards can be obtained at the end of the battlefield normally. So basically, at least to my understanding, you're not going to have to change servers to participate in RBF. It'll literally just put you in a pool of servers within like an RBF thing, so you'll be ported right back to your server at the end of RBF. Like, so if I'm like on Velia 3 and I go join RBF, it'll put me in whatever RBF has room first. And then on top of that, they're going to start adding like randomized maps to RBF. And they said the existing Red Battlefield was assigned to each server, but it was changed to be integrated in an integrated form through today's update. Accordingly, you can enter the desired RBF without changing server. In addition, based on this foundation, new maps are available. There must have been a lot of people who were bored with the same map, but we will add maps as quickly as possible so that you can enjoy for more fun. Now, I went on Global Labs. There's no new maps on Global Labs, so I guess they're going to be adding them. It was a little bit confusing because they said new maps are available, but hopefully when they actually come to our server, this change in a few weeks or whenever we get it, there's at least one new map, because I know it's such a simple change, but a new map would be way more fun.
Even if super refreshing.
It would be so nice.
It'd be almost as good as just getting a distortion off of no loot scroll just now.
What server? I'm gonna flag. I'm gonna consume it.
I'm not telling you my server.
So, dude, I kind of hope there's a bunch of new maps. And even here's the thing that's so sad is RBF has gotten so like redundant and old. Even if the map is exactly the same, but the floor is desert instead of grass, will be nice. that's how fucking like the same it's been.
I hope to God there's at least one map, because I have a feeling there's going to be at least like 2 added, and then there's going to be like 3. I hope they make a map where it's just a flat fucking field.
Same.
So that no fucking witchzards can fucking climb on top of goddamn roofs and throw shit down at people anymore. Fuck me.
Yeah. I think it'd be really fun to have a map that's like a maze too, where where it's literally not open and nothing to climb on. There's like only walls between you. And you like, I don't know. They could do so much fun stuff with the map since it's just like a game mode that doesn't really matter.
Yeah, they could literally do whatever they want and just make it entertaining as fuck. That's really what they should target. I agree completely with what you're saying. Like, I mean, they already have fucking crazy ass restrictions and rules for RBF versus all the other PvP. So,
yeah,
like, I'm right there with you on that. Just make it fun, make it different, unique, and just say fuck it. Like, hell, capture the flag would be hilarious. Do you imagine some of these classes trying to run with it?
Like, if they came out with like actual game modes, that'd be so fucking hype. And it was
dude, people would have so much fucking fun. It would take the edge off of grinding, you know? Like,
they still got to buff the rewards though. Even if the maps are fun, they got to buff the rewards a little bit.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
What do you mean? They just did not long ago. Now you get like 4 mil.
At the end of every round, you should get 1 to 5. You should get a little an RBF bundle. You right click it, and you can get anywhere from like 1 to 10 crown stones, 1 to 10 Kaffir stones, and a rare chance at a fine accessory box.
How about this? How about this?
Or something.
How about this? 30 cron stones and 1 ancient dust. How's that?
How about 5?
Whoa.
How about just 2 crown stones and 1 armor stone and a GM blessing?
Hmm.
No,
You know, the
not
best-
a GM blessing. A note from Jay. We just get a note from Jay.
We just get a note. we get a note from the fucking director. Just like, yeah, there would have been a better reward here, but you can have this instead.
Listen, the best I can do is 1 artisan memory, 40 cron stones, and 1 day Mer's palette. That's the best I can do.
Dude, no, but the Mer's palette, and they have to make the Mer's palette shows up in your inventory, and it can't be discarded. So you just start building them up, and you have to buy inventory slots.
Oh my god.
Hell yeah, dude. That would be sick. Yeah. Outside of that is the notes. Let me pull up the comments here. Let me get started on that. I gotta head out soon.
How are you looking on time?
I'm good. We don't have too many comments this week either, so
Okay.
only 21
And then
angry.
if I was to
Frosty's an important
Only
person.
21
He's got-
angry mooses.
He's got band
More
things
mooses
to
than I
do.
thought existed.
Yeah, we went and recorded a music video yesterday for one of our new songs, and we have to do it's sort of like this apocalypse theme, like before and after. So yesterday we were in the desert for the whole day, and it's funny because we're supposed to record the after scenes today, but like literally all of us are sunburnt as a motherfucker, so it probably is going to be a bad idea, but we'll see what happens. Also, if I don't get an Academy Award for my fucking acting in this goddamn video, then the Academy is a goddamn lie and a scam. My acting was incredible. Reza, you're gonna be blown away when you see this shit. You're gonna cry when you see me, dude.
You better let us all know when you're throwing this down, you know?
Any talk on removing debuffs and abilities. Dude, that question has been that shit has to be like the most meme-y funny thing in the fucking community in the last like 3 weeks. That question on the Q&A that said players are tired of having to rely on skills and debuffs for PvP. When will this be changed?
Oh god, that was actually hilarious.
Oh man. Okay, so this is what Soul Cypher's, he's been spamming this in chat. He says, "Adso Frosty, when are they reworking PvP? It's tiring having to rely on skills and debuffs."
I love that they cherry picked out of all the questions. They picked that fucking retarded one.
All right,
It's like, you know what?
TOS. Nah, she TOS. Okay,
No, that's only when I
Badriana.
refer to someone as that.
Badriana says first. Congratulations, Badriana. You were in fact first. Oh, hold on. Let me remove this. Yeah, you were in fact first, Badriana. Congrats. Austin Lassiter says vigorously presses button at any links. Timestamp here. Let me see what happens.
Grab. Oh god.
Also, if you press the button, in actuality, all success.
Let me guess, a grab.
Eumenidai says Reslar. So, he quotes this. So when you say it's that absurd, do you mean it's that absurd for like a standard game, or is that absurd for this company? Frosty. Yes. True.
Pretty accurate.
And Frax says, for me, a good montage makes you want to play the class that's shown off, and then his shit makes me want to use my coupons really bad. Also got fucked up by him a few times in Star's End. Would recommend. Great episode, guys. Much love. Thank you, Enfrax. Spectrum, last week we had Rostam on. If you guys have not checked out his YouTube channel, please check it out. His video editing is fucking incredible. And his runaway video, if that doesn't make you just want a PvP in general, then you're just lost. You're a lost cause. Spectral says, the problem isn't only PA and Siege. If you lose that, tell me how you're going to make a push on Castle. Oh, wait, you don't. You get fucked either way. So they need to change PA, yes, and make it individual or something, or buff Magic Shield more and remove. Then change Castle Siege so you can push without the need of it. I think just remove PA and then just that last thing. Just change Castle Siege.
I love whenever you talk to witches and wizards about removing PA, and they're like, "All right, but what are you going to give us in exchange for that?" It's like
no,
you just lose PA. But we've talked before that you would have to like change how siege. Like the biggest thing I think that you would have to do is make it to where there's not just one fucking entrance, right? Because like that's the big thing is there's one big choke that everyone has to pile through, and that's not really going to be something that's viable if you take away PA. So I think the easiest thing to do would be to just add like another entrance or two more entrances, and then that way you're not all just grouping up and piling through one entrance. Or at least if you do, then I'm assuming you have some sort of strategy to not just get fucking rained on.
I have a
Rizzler,
fun
that
idea.
would not work out for our PA design.
Hold on, I have a fun idea. You remove PA, and now castles, the entirety of castle walls are destroyable by cannons. So you have to make your own hole to enter.
That would be actually pretty cool.
Maybe it takes a few shots, 5, 10, whatever. But like when you get hit by a cannon, you're fucking. If you're on defense, your ass needs to get out there and find those cannons, or you can literally destroy the whole castle. There we go. Problem solved. Spectral adds 3 additional comments after that, and we have a new rule. You gotta just edit your comment and add it to that. Don't keep adding comments. So we're moving on. Feathersnake BDO says at 1 hour 38 minutes. If that question is referring to protected area, it makes much more sense. Do you know what he's referring to here, Resler? At 1:38.
I'm not quite sure, but that's been a theory of ours for a long time now. That Pearl Abyss, every time we talk about PA, they think we mean Pearl Abyss and not protected area.
Yeah. They definitely
They need to change the name of their company, or just remove that skill. One of the two. Is that where you're going with?
Well, when you say something like, dude, they need to nerf PA, people are like, I don't understand, like, why they want Pearl Abyss nerfed. Like, what, nerf us how? Lakeson 9003 says, would be fun if you guys could try to invite BJ. BJ Godna to the show. He is a Korean BDO YouTuber who played BDO since Musa released. I think he can speak and understand English, and Flavor of the Month plays, or FT. What's FTM? For the moment, plays Hashashin. I'm going to say Flavor of the Month. Flavor of the Month plays Hashashin. Question to Nyashi. How often do Musas/Mewas have to buy a new mouse since right mouse click over abuse? Great podcast as always. Keep up the good work. How often do you run through mice?
I can answer that question actually.
All right.
I bought one mouse in the last 3 years, and that is mostly because I wanted an upgrade. So the answer would technically be no need.
Nope, I'll give you the real answer. He has to replace his right mouse button every 3 weeks.
Specifically the right mouse button.
The right mouse button. And he has to replace the entire mouse every 3 weeks because when Chase doesn't work, he throws his mouse at the wall.
The mechanism is actually titanium now at this point. I've had to upgrade it so many times just because of how fragile it is from all the clicking. So.
Soul Cypher in chat says, now Frosty can hear Mooses complain in Korean too. Lamau. Hell yeah. Let's bring on a Korean Musa, dude. Kenichi Sai says, whenever a game dev promises changes in a positive tone, I always think of it as they're going to do the opposite. Pretty disappointing that PA is so disconnected with their players. Great podcast. Again, guys, nice hearing Nyashi again, too. Too bad he couldn't stay for the comments. Among Us looks pretty fun. My guildmates actually play it, and now they can't trust each other during Node Wars. Keck W.
Yeah, real quick, thanks everybody who came to community night and hung out for a while. It was fun.
Oh yeah,
we had
found out how bad I am at trivia or picture.
Yeah, we played one game of League because we originally had 5 people, so it was like perfect. And then we played some Scriblio, which if you don't know what that is, it's basically online Pictionary, and that was pretty fucking hilarious because none of us could draw, so. Also, it's really hard drawing with a mouse. Like, God.
Yeah, I mean, we did all right. I think we did okay, but it was definitely fun.
It was fun. I got a new game I'm hype about, and I know Bear, if you're still in chat, we got to play this shit when I get back from my band shit. This game called what is this shit called? Wait, hold on.
Is it just me, or is this particular server bug? Why is there no big
Gunfire Reborn, dude? It's what's called a roguelite, which is a new genre to me. Never even heard of it, but that shit it's cartoony as fuck, but it's super fun. Yeah. Also, Kenichi Sai ended his comment with Keck W. For the boomers out there like me, I did some research last week. Keck W means laughing, and the W, we have no idea why the W is added in there. Ignore the name says, with PA's response to Node War and Siege, like, honestly, I know we already do, but we really need to speak up and make our voices heard somehow, because this shit sucks. It seems like nothing will ever change by the way they think. Like, even if we do speak up loud, it's difficult because we've been for so long, and it just seems they ignore what we all say, their player base. Yeah. They definitely are not really listening.
They are doing changes, but they're just not listening to us as to what changes. They just want to do it their way. And
I'm split on it. On one hand, I like that they don't listen. On the other hand, I hate that they don't listen, because like if you actually go through and listen to what people are asking for, it's absurd.
There's so many stupid complaints and requests.
Stupid complaints, stupid requests, like things people want an insane amount of things. On the other hand, there are things that are like really necessary that are such simple fixes that they're ignoring. So it's like double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Zachary, good friend of mine. He mercs for Brutal all the time. He's a big fan of Brutal. He says, this was really interesting to watch. Kind of wish Frosty didn't make up questions so often, but other than that, I enjoyed it. He's referring to, he says when I give an example of what someone is saying that I'm making it up. I promise I'm not making that up. So, for example, I have had people tell me that frontal guard is not a protection. And he's saying like I'm making that stuff up. That is a legitimate argument that people make to me all the time. They say that frontal guard is not really protection, so I don't have protected CCs. If they have like a frontal guard CC, and that's not made up.
Which
People
fucking
actually
class
think
Discord are you going in?
I try to do my research on all of them. Dude. No, we don't have frontal guard. We actually don't have frontal guard, so we can't make that complaint.
Discord. Have you been in the Musa Discord recently?
It's a strikers don't like to look at frontal guard as protection. They're one of them. The frontal guard on Dragon Bite is not protection either. So it's
what?
It's fine. Callahan says. Callahan says they can make any change they want to Node War Siege, but no matter what they do, short of a cap like T1s, it will be PA push every time. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they could remove PA. If they remove PA, it won't be PA push every time.
Yeah, if you just remove the company from the game, we'd actually have a better time, I think. Just remove the company.
Anyone know the percent chance of Pen Ogre at a 200 fail stack? It's like 10 or 11%, something like that. It's close to 10, isn't it? I don't know.
Possibly.
I would say don't go for it. Unless you're related, then go for it and list it.
I'd say do and show us the video, because there's nothing like a little bit of despair from someone else's perspective to make me feel better about myself.
Yeah, Multi's saying 10.5.
I have a question. Frosty. Does your Pen Ogre have a name on it? Does the accessories get the names on it?
Yeah, they have names, and no, it doesn't. I submitted a ticket and had the name removed.
Wait, you did?
I did.
You can do that?
You can do that.
I didn't know that.
Dude, not only can you do that, but it was the fastest they've ever responded to a ticket in the history of them responding to tickets. I woke up, I logged into BDO, and I was like, I forgot to submit the ticket. Let me do that right now. I submitted the ticket. Within a minute and 20 seconds, my Ogre was no longer equipped, and it was in my mail with the name removed.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was actually insane. Yeah. So if you have a bad name on it, get rid of it. Yeah, it was like Sky Thoughts or something. It was an awful name. I had to get rid of it.
Wait, say the name one more time?
It was like Sky... SKYY_THOX. It was just weird and not. It was a roulette for sure. It was a roulette. That's a roulette name. Jimmy Lang says, "Haha, Frosty goes burr." All right, Jimmy Lang. I'm not reading your comment next week. Travis 7067 just links something, and then his second comment is 6 months for a new tier list. That's PA level procrastination. I mean, we could do it right after the Hashashin comes out, like, in October or November. The Musassin says, so, Frosty, you're telling me that Warrior Awake and Suck is weak. Hush you mouth, ha ha ha. Did I say Warrior Awake is weak? Ever?
I don't think so, but maybe.
I don't even know
remember.
where this is
Wait,
coming
what?
from. Musassin, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I don't even know what you're referring to. When did I say Warrior Awake is weak? And I don't even... huh?
Wait. Before we go on and insulting the poor guy, is he a donor?
Like, on his license?
No.
His license.
I guess that's not the proper word, but
Because
I'm not insulting him.
Because Frosty's about to murder this boy.
I'm
About
not
to ruin his whole
insulting him.
career
I'm
right
asking.
here.
I know for sure I never said Awakened Warrior is weak. I never said that. I don't know what he's talking about. He says, also when I complain about Musa, I don't know how many times I got to say this, but I'm talking about Musa Awakening, not suck. Musa Awakening needs a lot of love. I want Musa Awakening to be like Warrior/Guardian, where it becomes a preference or a steak choice over it being able to PvP. The only thing that I only think your last sentence is very reasonable, and I also want that for Musa and all the other Awakenings. I also want that for Musa and all the other Awakenings. I don't want any class should not feel like they have to use Succession. And Musa is in that boat a little bit, although I disagree heavily that it's in that boat in PvP. There's a lot of situations where Musa Awakening is actually really fucking good in PvP. But in PvE, it's definitely in that boat, like a lot of us, and that should be fixed. I just think that it's comical how exaggerated Musa's problems are when they're not as bad as Musa's make them seem. And there is an element of Musa's do not want to accept that accuracy accessories are okay, and it's okay to put them on. It's all right.
Say something?
It's all right to use a Zarka and a Dawn Earring, like other classes.
Stay quiet during all this.
There are problems. No one denies it, but I'm just, try being an Awakened Dark Knight for a week, and then tell me about your Awakening Musa problems. Yeah, what's up, Rosar?
I just want to say that exchange right there is exactly why, no matter how many signatures the Remove Nyashi from the Value Pack podcast, the petition on change.org gets, I could never do it. I could never do it. I could never do it.
Why? Because of what?
It's just too funny. Just the shit that comes out of this man's mouth. I swear to God.
I mean, it is, one of a kind. Definitely not going to find another Mayweather that can say random shit like I do.
True. Daz says also again.
You just won't find another Mayweather, but
dude, right now, legit, Maywa is. In my experience, Maywa is the least played class in the entire game right now. I'm pretty sure. I actually think there's fewer Maywas than Shais.
I think Shy is fairly popular.
I don't know. I see a lot of Maywas in Battle Arena. I don't really see Shais.
The only reason you see a lot of Maywas in Battle Arena is because you ping all the Maywas that exist and tell them to go with you to Battle Arena. They're not actually ever there. Daz says BDO is the best if you play it casually and the worst if you take it seriously. Just to unpack, to not just parrot from the podcast, there's a big handcrafted world to go around, lots of little hidden caves, interesting points that don't really do anything but fun to find. Life skill system, while it has its own issues, has a lot of content to figure out and make the world itself very interactable. After playing BDO, where almost every patch of grass can be interacted with, other MMO worlds just feel like fake backdrops. That's actually true. I actually do agree with that. Most people mash R through quests, but there's some actual effort when in there, especially side quests, which range from fun and silly to sad and tragic if you're willing to read through them. Of course, the game is also very good at drawing you into a mindset of having to optimize everything to be the most efficient, which is the easiest way to get burned out. Times like those, it's best to just...
That's players.
It's
players
best to step back and make sure that it's you who plays the game, not the game that plays you. Dude, that is deep. I'm writing that down.
I would make a slight revision to that. It's the players that cause you to min-max and everything.
Well, I think the game leads you into it, though, right? Because the game definitely holds your hand to it, but it's the player that makes the decision ultimately. So you're right. But I do think there's a little bit of leading the witness in the way the game's designed that makes you feel like oh, like this isn't as optimal as if I did this, but to do this, I have to do this. You know what I mean?
You kidding me? They literally hand you fucking bullshit accessories constantly that have no fucking major impact. Like, what are those early game accessories that have like, oh, you get back attack damage or something like that on it? Like, this isn't gonna help a newer player.
Yeah, dude, this helps them defeat
Just
red
get more
nose.
HP done. You know, like that's the min maxing talking because players have already done the research on this stuff.
That
is like
the back attack helps them defeat the first red nose scroll boss. You liar.
You don't even get it until you get to Alta Nova.
You
right?
min max the red nose scroll boss, dude.
Oh my god.
Dude, I do have to point out that, like, I think I mentioned this before, like, whenever I played Arcage, like, Arcage's world felt very empty compared to Black Desert Online. And
Well,
I
that's
think
because
a
no
lot
one
of
built
that,
houses yet.
I think a lot of that does have to do with, like, just how much shit there is in Black Desert Online that you can interact with.
Yeah,
Like, I think that is, like, a huge part of it, in all honesty.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. And there's a lot of places where you can go, like, even if the grind spot is not necessarily viable, there's, like, gathering things you could do there, or quests that bring you there a lot. And they are slowly, like, revamping the grind spots to be viable. There's obviously way more they could do. I still just, like, right now, I just want them to focus on, like, the new RBF maps is a good start, but fucking arenas, dude. God damn it, give us arenas. Free BDO player says, here all the quests, or here all the reward about, here, he says, here all reward about seasonal characters. I think it's a link to all the rewards you can get from seasonal. And Goblin Burger says, this is interesting and all, but did you know Frosty is leaving BDO?
What?
Wait, he clipped something.
Good
Man,
double
fuck
TV.
this shit. I'm going back to
You're
Candy
leaving
Crush, the
BDO,
true
eh?
god tier MMO. He said, all right, this was such a bait.
We're hearing it for the first time, so
I
this is
know.
shocking. Live reaction.
He said, he spammed in my chat, like with all caps, this sentence, like, man, fuck this shit, fuck BDO, I'm going back to Candy Crush. And I read it, like, I just read it live, like I was reading the chat, and then he clipped it and said, got you saying it, and now he's linking it, saying I'm quitting BDO and going back to Candy Crush. Fucking troll. Anyway, that's the end of the comments. Thank you guys so much for commenting. If you want to leave a comment, if you want to get our reaction on something, if you want to tell us that we're wrong about something or argue with us and we shout you down, you can do that by leaving a comment in the YouTube channel on the next video. We always read it the following week. Please, 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 if you comment, and we do love comments. Like, I don't mind if we have 60 comments, that's fucking awesome, but please let them be 60 different comments. If you want to amend your comment or change something you said, you can go back into YouTube, click edit, and change your comment or add more information to it, and we'll look at the whole comment. Do not leave four comments, please.
Just wait till Frosty or Rezlar respond to your comment, and then change it to be something completely different, so they look like assholes.
Oh yeah, and this
so when
is,
they read it,
or if you're
it's just going to be great on the next podcast.
This is I'll put this in the Discord so you guys have this. This is my live reenactment of Dark Knights when they read the Global Labs notes this week. If you guys want to check this out real quick, I'm going to play it on stream.
Let me kill this pack real quick and then I'll check it.
Here we go. Let me make sure volume's up. We're good to go. All right, here we go. This is the reenactment of Dark Knight reading the Global Lab patch notes. Or if you're a DK, here's what went down. You were minding your own business late last night. You probably already were tired of grinding for the day, so you hopped off. You're watching animes in bed like a, standard BDO nerd, just laying in bed watching animes. Then you get a ping, and you see like, what the hell is everyone? What's going on in this Discord, dude? Everyone's chatting. What's happening? Wait, they buffed all the awakenings? Everyone? Hell yeah! And then they went to the DK section, like DK. Float on seed. Hell yeah! All right, what else? 300 extra stamina. Okay. What else? Nothing else? That's it? Fuck, dude. Fuck UPA. Fuck this game. Fuck every class. Really? They buffed Awakened Witch. They buffed Awakened Witch even more. They buffed Ninja. Okay. Alright, dude. Fuck these devs, dude. Fuck PA. Fuck this game. Fuck everybody. This is bullshit, dude. I fucking hate this. You know what? I'm re-rolling. When's Hashishine coming out? Fuck this class, dude. Or if you're... That's Dark Knights in a nutshell.
Yep. That's basically my reaction every time the patch comes out.
And then Moo says they went to the notes and they're like, so no changes? Okay. All right.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
That is that. Reslo, you want to give a shout out to everyone and tell them where they could find us all and close out the show?
Yeah, thanks everybody for watching, listening, hanging out with us in the streams, in both Nyashi and Frosty streams. We do stream these things,
Or
by the way.
crackly mic. Rezar apologizes for his crackly ass mic.
Yeah,
Is my mic being crackly
Yeah.
again?
What is it that you do to? What do you do to fix it? Is it the cable?
I literally unplug it and plug it back in.
Fuck, dude, that sucks. Yeah, maybe the cable's
Here,
just
hold on.
frayed inside.
Have you tried
Yeah,
like not
watch.
plugging it
So,
back
hold
in?
on. Let's see.
Alright, he unplugs it. I imagine he plugs it back in and then he has to go and re-choose it as a setting. So it takes a little bit longer than just
Probably.
unplugging and replugging. Either that or the plug is underneath his desk and he's climbing around on the floor.
Hello? Is it better now? Is it fixed?
Yes.
Crackling
yes,
is
it
fixed. Welcome
Did
back.
you used to play on RuneScape?
Welcome back. I'm no longer cracked out Resloy. So, yeah, and I don't have to do anything too extreme. All I have to do is go into voice meter, swap the input to something else, and then swap it back to my mic for some reason. I don't know why I have to do that whenever I unplug it and replug it, but still.
Someone in chat wants to know if you played RuneScape before, Rizzler.
I did play RuneScape way back in the day. I didn't even have the name Reslar back then. I had a completely different name. I don't even remember what it is. Don't ask me. It was some fucking edgy gay shit because I was like 12 years old. Alright, so that's gonna do it for this episode. Thank you everybody for hanging out in the streams. We do stream these every single week, either at twitch.tv/SoFrosty or twitch.tv/Nyashi_NA. We didn't have a guest this week because of the sheer amount of notes that we had to go through, but I think we are already trying to get a guest for next week, so look forward to that. No music, I'm disappointed. That's what, you know what, there are pros and cons to watching the live stream, okay? So yeah, thanks for watching. Check out our Twitch streams, links are down below. Check out the Patreon, link is down below. Check out Frosty's band, he's got new shit coming out soon. Links down below in the description as well, of both the SoundCloud and the YouTube and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, that'll do it. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Have a good one.